podcast with Ginny and Jenni. This is the Noonas podcast with Ginny and Jenni.
Dual set. Heart to heart. Noonas podcast. Welcome back once again to the Noonas podcast, as always, with your hosts Jenny and Jenni.
Hi.
We are back once again with more K-pop news and K-pop reviews, and anything related to K-pop in general, and Korean news, general pop culture stuff. But we do have another guest on our show today. I was hoping to have two, but one couldn't make it, unfortunately. But we do have a guest, returning guest to our show. One of our favorite people, I think, in the world who's come on our show. Always gives some really great insight. Always gives us a bit of a different flavor. One of our favorite oppas, I guess. Oh, I guess not really oppa to me because I'm older, but
Well, to me.
To you, he's an oppa.
Yeah.
But Chris is back on the show. Our friend Chris Brown is back on the show once again. Say hi, Chris.
Hey, good to be here as always. Am I really younger? Okay. We don't have to discuss ages on the show. Okay.
I'm old. I've officially established on the show I'm old. I'm old as a stone. I'm definitely the older camp of Noonas. I'm not quite to Ajima status yet, thank God. Although I will say I did meet quite a few older fans when I was in Vegas, so that was quite fantastic. So the heart still stays young when you're into things that people consider young or whatever, or however you want to interpret that. But
music fans have no age. It's across the board.
Yeah, there is no age when it comes to music. I find it's just whatever you like. So don't squash on us for liking K-pop when you're in your 30s. Anyway, but we're gonna be talking about a lot today. We got some news. I mean, I'm gonna talk about a little bit of my experience about BTS in Vegas, because Vegas is a town.
Just a town.
It's a town. It's a crazy town. And the shows themselves were great. I mean, still same Permission to Dance set list, but they always have the same energy whenever they perform. And I don't know if this is the end of the Permission to Dance tour technically, because obviously they announced some big news at the end of Permission to Dance Day 4. Yeah, and we'll talk about that.
It's like a Marvel stinger.
Very much like a Marvel stinger.
Yeah,
also,
BTS will return.
very much. Yeah. Oh my God. Yep. I think that's kind of funny because there's video. We'll talk about it when we talk about it, because there's video of them apparently sticking around and waiting to see how people were going to react to that stinger. So, but then also on top of that, because again, that night was insane. And Ginny even made a reel, which on our Instagram, which is doing fantastic, by the way.
I know, that was the most likes that we have in our page. that is so unreal.
I know, it was insane. Because we were talking about the Coachella performances, because the last weekend of Easter weekend basically was insane, between the last performances of BTS in Vegas, and then we had three really groups, K-pop groups or people involved in K-pop performing at Coachella, because we had Epik High performing Friday night at Coachella, and then Saturday night alone they had Jackson, Wang and CL, as well as a cameo by 21 showing up at Coachella, which blew people's minds. So we'll talk a little bit about that, as well as just all the music we have to talk about, because we do have to play a little catch up. And I apologize that these reviews are a little late. Took me a while to acclimate back to reality once I got back from Vegas. That's kind of my fault. But we do have reviews this week from SHINee member Onew with his second mini album, Dice, and the title track as well, Dice. We do have a new mini album from fourth generation group Epex with their newest release, Prelude of Anxiety Chapter 1, 21st Century Boys. That's a mouthful of a title.
I know. I'm
Um,
kind of sick of like like especially with TXT. Like no offense with TXT or even day six before was like this long ass title. So like I don't want to type this out in social media.
hey, at least TXT is getting better with their titles because their newest album is very, very short. Well, we're going to have to wait till the title track comes out because the title track is when they like go really, really lengthy because they're like Panic at the Disco and they have like really insane title tracks. Titles.
I write.
All right, Since on Tragedies or and other really ridiculous names for their title tracks. But we also have reviews from Dreamcatcher with their brand new full-length album Apocalypse Save Us, as well as a new a single release from one of our favorite hip-hop artists, female hip-hop artists, Jessi. And then we have also another fourth gen boy group, another newly debut group, which we haven't really talked about them on the show much, but I've kind of started getting into them a little bit, and they just actually dropped a new album, and that's the group Just Be with their third mini album, Just Begun. And then we're going to wrap up, I think, with a little quick mini discussion with 17 dropping a pre-release because they do have a comeback coming in May. But they did drop a single, and it's a full English single. It's their first fully English single as a group. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Darl+ing. So we got a full docket today. And I know Chris is not sure if he's going to be able to talk about a lot. I know he's really here for Dreamcatcher. But I think you'll be able to help with a lot of this, I think.
Yeah, if you have any questions, like a student or, if you could like really recommend you with like some of the songs that we can share for this recording.
Mm-hmm. So I also remember not to look at my TV because I keep looking at my TV now. Venom's playing.
Stop looking at your TV.
I gotta stop doing that.
Not recording.
It's just like because all of a sudden Venom was playing in the background.
Yeah, because she has like a TV full of K-pop music videos just playing in her TV.
It's randomly on shuffle. I turned around and all of a sudden it was just Venom from Stray Kids, and I'm just like, yep, nope, I can't do that. Okay.
Oh no, I'm not checking. Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on to talking about my experience with BTS in Vegas, which I went to the first weekend in Vegas, which I will say, wow, it was hot. I mean, okay, yes, duh, I know it's the desert, Jenny. It's going to be hot, but it's like hot for no, it was hot for April standards too, because it was like in the 90s, but 90 degree Fahrenheit. So like in the probably like 30s, not almost in the 30s Celsius, if you can do the conversion. It was pretty warm out there. I mean, but like with Allegiant Stadium, I'll say this: it's a nice stadium. It's a very, very nice stadium. I'd actually love to go back out there for a football game. Gorgeous arena, and it's just the experience stuff. Like Vegas, like fully embraced BTS. Like,
oh, no kidding. I was like, I've seen pictures of like the strip, just pretty much all purple.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have pictures, and I will be putting pictures up because I took a ton of pictures when I was in Vegas of like the Vegas Strip lit up in purple. They were calling themselves Boravegas for like the whole time they were there. Like they were completely lighting the city up. Like I don't think I've ever seen a city fully embrace BTS like this. Considering like there's other shows and other performances going on. Like I mean, the Backstreet Boys were starting like a mini residency because they were starting their tour, and they literally lit the city up for BTS, and they had the Bellagio fountains doing the show like to a medley of BTS songs, which unfortunately I did not get a chance to see the Bellagio show because I know I really, 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 really wanted to get there, but we just ran out of time just because of all the timing, because it was like on the top of the hour every hour, so it was like once an hour, so you had to be there at the right time to see it. But I think they got to go out and see it.
They did.
We went. Yeah, because they got to see it. Because I think there's like video of like I think V, Hobie, and Jungkook, I think, going out to Bellagio, and then they went to dinner somewhere afterwards. And like like it was like the day before like the first show that they were, or no, the Wednesday before the first show that they went to go check it out, because they were starting it like that Wednesday and then running it through the first weekend and then doing it I think the following weekend as well. But like they had a bunch of different like pop-up stuff. Like we went to this like whole they had this whole pop-up art exhibit which had a bunch of like behind the scenes of like practice photos of them getting ready for the tour and stuff, like of like the practicing from Permission to Dance, a bunch of video and stuff. And it was just really cool art, kind of like art gallery exhibit, just kind of see like all the hard work they put into it. You could take pictures of the pictures. So I did take pictures, a lot of pictures of the pictures, because like you just to see the hard work they put into like, you know, preparing this tour and getting the set list together. And, you know, you can see like all the teamwork and the camaraderie, you know, camaraderie they have between one another, just to, you know, make sure they're nailing everything. And it's just really cool area. And then next to that was like this whole pop-up thing, which you could take pictures at, which kind of like was like referencing like Dynamite and Butter and Permission to Dance. It was like this really cool kind of like gallery you could kind of walk through. And we got some pictures and stuff. I got pictures with all my roommates I was staying with out in Vegas, because I stayed with a bunch of my friends, fellow armies, because we literally decorated our condo very Permission to Dance, very Army BTS style. I actually have some souvenirs from them that we got that I brought home.
I can only imagine. It's just like there's so like millions of fans are just like visiting Vegas right now. Like I wonder how like BTS are just like so good at hiding or just like being able to spend their time on their own in Vegas. Like how do they do that?
I honestly have no idea, because like I mean, because you saw their Instagrams, like they were literally out there like at the like Bellagio fountains. They were going to a bunch of different things like out there, restaurants. I mean, I hope you got to go see Lady Gaga. I think that was before the second weekend. He got to go see Lady Gaga. 6 of them got to go see Silk Sonic out there, because they're doing a residency right now. I think the one who didn't go see them was Jin, because Jin's still dealing with his hand surgery. I think that's still kind of bugging him a little bit, because I will say for the show, because they put out a notice before the first show, saying like they were going to modify some of the choreography and he wasn't going to be participating fully. Mm-hmm. But he participated in more of it than I thought, quite honestly.
Okay.
Like he was out there doing as much as he possibly could. Like there's some moments like obviously like in On and in Black Swan that he couldn't do, so he'd go sit off to the side, but like for most of the show he's out there dancing with them. But like I think any of the choreography, like he had like grabbed onto somebody or was gonna be too close to somebody, he would be off to the side or be a little bit more of it's really, really active choreography, he'd sit off to the side. But most of the choreography he was out there dancing, even in his cast that was wrapped up, and he always had like the special sleeve that matched his outfit, because they have like 4 outfit changes and it's always changing. So like they created like a sleeve to like protect the cast and stuff. And, you know, he's still trying to hide it, but it's like we knew what was going on with that. So, because I think he doesn't want to see like I think for him, he feels like it's a weakness, which it shouldn't feel like a weakness. I mean, he had to get surgery. Yeah,
you know, like a lot of idols, like you said before, like they're such, you know, perfectionists to a fault that, you know, like they couldn't help but be self-criticizing, just like, you know, like, oh man, I should have been injured that day. Like I feel like I'm, you know, putting letting my members down, which is like, don't overstress yourself or overthink it. You know, it happens, and then you just like gotta find a way to like, you know, perform, you know, with that situation. I mean, like you know, with NCT's Jisung, when he had like a leg injury and he couldn't like perform together with like the whole group. All he could do was just like stand there, or you know, like he just like do like be equipped with some props so he can just sing his parts.
I mean, they got him out there at least to do something, so that's something. I mean, you can definitely tell that they were. He was definitely co-opting to like. No, they were definitely cheering up. Like, there's moments I've seen now, like kind of looking back, and they're still circulating around on Twitter, like. Other members, especially like V, really trying to like cheer up Jin, and like they're all like kind of like reaching out to him, making sure he's doing okay and stuff. Because I think he was a little down, because again he's performing while he's injured technically, but and you could tell like there was a little bit like the energy was a little different, I think, versus LA versus Seoul for this one, because I feel like it was a little bit more laid back, because I could tell that during the second day during the men's, because they were literally just during the closing men's, they were literally just sitting on the stage when everyone was like doing it. Like the one person would stand up and then the rest of them would just sit down and just kind of stare at them and just kind of look and stuff. Like there was just, it was a little more subdued, I think, day 2. I know day 1, we did actually have a delay in the show because literally like a minute before the show goes. So like usually they cycle through and they play music videos and they have some like other ads and stuff they have to play because they have other, you know, sponsors and stuff they have to deal with and other people that they are collaborating with on the tour. But most of the time they're playing music videos, and literally they're playing the music video for Permission to Dance, which is the last one they're going to play before they play the first VCR to kick off the show. And as that video is playing, the screen on, if you're looking at the stage, on house right, just goes black. Like half of it goes black. Oh. And then they, I think it started up and they started the VCR and then it kind of popped back up and then it went back black out again. So like half of it was showing. And then they played the first VCR all the way through, but it was still black. So they literally like stopped the show and they had basically a 40-minute delay so they could fix that screen. And honestly, everyone was super chill about it.
Okay, like, yeah, because like usually like
there was nobody.
You know, people are like get so impatient, like just start the fucking show or something like that. Like you know,
no, because I think everyone kind of realized the screen was off, and we were like, "Oh no!" And because you could kind of tell like everyone, because I was up in the 200s towards the end zone, so like I could see people like the sound people down on the floor, kind of like they're all like running around like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." I know people who've worked in the like audio and sound and stuff. Like my dad has done this for years. He's actually toured with groups back in the 80s. So in Canada, of all places. But yeah, it's like you could tell the palpable like panic they had in that moment of just like, oh no. And so you could see them backstage, like the lights going on, trying to fix what's going on. I think like they probably literally had to like unplug and replug everything in because these are like 40 feet. Like giant screens, LED screens. And they needed both of them to work for the show. So, but it, like everyone was really, really cool. Like they turned their like army bombs on. So there's like light in the stadium. They put an announcement on like the show's going to be delayed. And everyone was like, that's fine. Basically people just kind of, you know, chilled. Like we're just talking and stuff. People would come back to the merch tents. They're practicing the wave. It was pretty chill. Because they always do like the army bomb wave at the end of the show. So we were practicing that for night 1. So yeah, it was super, super chill. And they started the show like 40 minutes later than they wanted to. But like, I can just imagine like the 7 of them just standing backstage, just ready to go on stage. And then that happens. And just be like it's just like that adrenaline high just has to be prolonged because they can't go on stage because there's something broken. So like they were anxious to go on stage day 1. I could tell that. And then day 2, they're a little bit more subdued. I think there's just like, I don't know if it was just the heat and all that. Cause it was hot. It was really, really hot. It was in like it was like in the mid 90s. It was getting super windy. The weather was trying to take a beating on people. I know it was taking a beating on me a little bit, out there. Cause I'm not used to it. Cause it's been, you know, winter. So, as well as the allergies out there, apparently. Apparently tumbleweed pollen kills me, I have found out. Because I was like, my eyes were just tearing up from all the tumbleweed pollen out there. It was driving me insane.
Oh, okay. So it's not just because of BTS then?
No, it wasn't just because of BTS.
I was going to say the same thing. It's like, it's allergies. It's allergies.
No, my boyfriend said the exact same thing.
You all know.
Like, no, it was literally because of the allergies. Like, literally, the allergies were making me cry. Like, I couldn't even do my eye makeup like the way I wanted to because the allergies were just driving my eyes insane. Kind of disappointed in that, but but yeah, it was fun. Also, cool little side note. I don't know if this is true or not because They didn't take pictures of this restaurant, but we went to go get Korean barbecue the first night we were out there after we went to like the pop-up experience in the art gallery. And I was the one who picked out the restaurant because there's a couple different Korean barbecue places. And I literally picked the one that was like closest to our condo / had good reviews. So this place called like Gangnam Barbecue. I highly recommend it. If you guys are out in Vegas, check it out. They have really good barbecue. Ate pretty well for like the 7 of us. Have really good soju lemonade too. But we found out that like that earlier that week, some of the members of BTS actually had eat at that restaurant or had eaten at the restaurant. I think like Jin had come in there. And then V came in there, I think twice. V came one time with like just the security staff. And then I think V also dragged RM and Jimin to the restaurant too. So yeah, this place called Gangnam Barbecue, I highly recommend it. It's really good barbecue. Actually, really good K-barbecue. Like they were just playing some like a little bit more like lo-fi K-pop throughout. It was kind of nice. It was a little more chill. So did actually hear Deshata as they were playing that through the speakers because we were pretty late on a Thursday night. We were eating dinner at like 10 o'clock. So I was still like used to Central Time. So it was like midnight. I was eating dinner. So I was like eating all this Korean barbecue, stress, drinking soju lemonade. And like I was like tired after that. But yeah, it was so much fun. It was a really good experience. Also found out like the Top Golf that that V took the Instagram photo from. Because, you know, the Instagram video he was on, because if you remember back, he was golfing and stuff. He was at like a Top Golf. Yeah, that Top Golf was literally across the street from the condos we were staying at.
Oh, really?
I know. He was literally like the day before we showed up. We're like, come on. So, like, they were like literally like right there. So.
Yeah, but I think like they would have like if they're going out to eat, they probably like would have closed like that venue. It's like so people won't just like crowd in to see them.
But they had like I know they had security and stuff, and it sounds like the security guards were really cool with them too, and like people were being pretty cool and pretty chill with them and everything too. I mean, people were in Vegas for other things and stuff too. So like not all people in Vegas were there for BTS.
A lot of people
were. I mean, it was fun seeing armies in the wild. I mean, I got a bunch of freebies. I got, I have some photo cards. I have some Polaroids. I got a cute little plush Yoongi somebody made. That's really, really cute. A little plush sugar. Met up with another friend of mine from Sydney that I haven't seen in a couple of years, who's in an army. She gave me a stuffed koala because that's her thing. She always gives me a stuffed koala every time I see her. So, but yeah, I like got a Polaroid when I was out to dinner with ran into some armies night 1. And they were literally like they took a Polaroid of all of us sitting together at dinner, and then they had us sign a white hoodie. Just like of where we were from and stuff, because this is a cool collectible. Like the armies do really cool stuff like that. It's like I've seen really cool kind of collectible things like that when I'm at concerts like this. It's a really cool collective of people, really creative people and stuff like that. So and I was pimping out I will say this, I was pimping out the podcast when I was there. I was shut on the podcast.
Oh my God.
I was being a shameless promoter of the podcast out there. So yes. So if any newer listeners are listening to the podcast, hi. Welcome to the Noonas podcast. So I've been shamelessly promoting the podcast, and I might have to do is if I do get my hands on Stray Kids tickets, but yeah, I'm gonna pimp out the podcast if I get Stray Kids tickets, which I'm not here to talk about Stray Kids, but damn you, Ticketmaster. That's all I got to say about that.
Ticketmaster is top 10 of worst corporations just in existence today. Down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hands down, one of the worst. Not experienced yesterday.
Yeah, go to Vivid Seats or SeatGeek, one of those. Probably slightly better experience. Yeah.
I will say one of the worst ticket buying experiences I've ever had. And that's I've tried to do a lot for K-pop shows. So yeah, but we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about BTS's big announcement at the end of night 4, which I think we were all kind of expecting, but still was exciting. And that is the news that BTS is dropping an album. Not a full, well, we don't know if it's a full album.
Yeah, I don't know, a full or mini album.
Yeah, we don't know. They haven't said, but they said basically album coming June 10th, which is basically right around anniversary / festa time for BTS. So the month of June is basically now off limits for any and all other idols, I feel like, at this point.
I feel so bad.
Which means May is going to become very, very, very front loaded very quickly with drops here very soon, which it already has, but we should have known. I feel like a little bit. Yeah, they announced new album, which I mean, it's been a while since they've got an actual album from BTS because the last one is B, and wasn't November 2020, I think.
Yeah. Which they still won from that last year for their award show.
Yeah, because that still somehow qualified for awards in 2021. So, which we completely forgot about, Ginny and I. So yeah. Whoops. But no, they're gonna have a new album and we'll get new music, hopefully more on the Korean side of things and not English side of things.
Yeah, you know, I really hope that they go back to their roots, and I've been like desperately praying that they really go into more of their hip hop side. So you know, for those who are new for BTS, who they're not just like your regular K-pop, you know, like pop boy bands and all that. Just like they started out like really hardcore. Well, you know, in K-pop sense, you know, when it comes to hip hop, but yeah, I think their hip hop really, they're more hard hitting.
Yeah, they were a little more hard hitting, I think, than other boy groups, especially coming out in 2013 when they came out onto the scene. When you go listen back to
now, I'm expecting some metalcore screams on the next album. We're gonna go hardcore. That's what I'm expecting.
Not like Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, but maybe from Suga, maybe, but well,
maybe.
I think he's probably the member who would most likely go on that route because he's really like sharp when it comes to his rap flow and rap skills.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they've already talked about. Well, there's already the news that there's possibly a Snoop Dogg BTS collab potentially. Yeah. I don't know if it would be on the album, but
I was thinking. Yeah, so I don't know if it's gonna be like Snoop Dogg featuring BTS or if it's gonna be like a joint thing like he did with Coldplay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was no news on that. Also, like, not the first time Snoop Dogg's ever collabed with a K-pop artist, because he has collabed with Psy before, back in like the back in the mid-aughts.
Oh, so let's point out that pun: Snoop Dogg with BTS, a joint thing. So I see how it is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if only they lent them, you know, but since weed is like still illegal in Korea, it's like
very illegal. I mean, that's the one thing that was very worrisome when they're in Vegas, because like they can't be filmed or like shot in a casino because gambling's illegal in Korea, and like any of them like being like near anything like gambling wise, no good. So happy like they were able to avoid any of that. I mean, there's plenty to do in Vegas outside of gambling. Like, I love the fact my mom yelled at me. She's like, "You didn't do like any slot machines or anything in Vegas?" I'm like, when was I supposed to have time when I was in Vegas to do that? So
no, there's so much more. You could go to slot machines anywhere, really. I mean, exactly. I know Las Vegas is known for, you know, certain things, but there's so much more. Just the shows themselves, it's, you know, going to take up a lot of your time and your money. Lots of your money too.
Oh yeah, I know. If I had more time, I probably would have gone out there. Would probably seen the RuPaul's Drag Race show. I actually had a couple of my friends who I was staying with actually get to go see it the week, because they stayed out for both weekends. And so the week they were out there, they were actually, I think, staying at the Flamingo, which is where the RuPaul's Drag Race live show is out there in Vegas, and they got to see that. I still have to ask them how that was. But because I kept seeing advertisements for that. And I was like, that's like the one show I would love to go see, because I probably could have afforded that. But there's like tons of other shows. Like there's tons of eating and stuff out there. Like obviously like Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen's out there. Plenty of restaurants, plenty of buffets. I mean, I did the buffet at Caesar's Palace, which, holy cow, there's a ton of food there. It was pricey, but it was worth it, because like it's like top of the line, like, you know, gourmet food. Like best of the best. So
Yeah,
some like
it's
best
been a
chefs.
while. It's been a while since I've been to Vegas and just like trying out the food.
Mm-hmm. Also, I would say more children than I had expected in Vegas. There were a lot of families and with a lot of children, and I'm like, I was not expecting this many children in Vegas.
Well, it's a very different place than it was, I guess, back in the 70s and 80s. It's not all run by gangs anymore. It's not all run by the
and
mafia
gamblers
anymore.
And the mob.
The mob, yeah. It's like the end of the movie Casino. You see this kind of switch over to like there's like daycare centers and stuff instead of the whole movie had been about the mafia owning all these casinos and places.
Yeah, there's definitely like some shows that are more like family entertainment out there, especially like with America's Got Talent, having a lot of drive out there too. I think there's a lot of like the more family oriented shows out there, like Magicians and stuff. So definitely more of that. But I mean, I'm more on the more like I said, I would have gone to the drag show because that's me. Because I'm adult. I'm gonna go do more adult things out there. So. But yeah, I was fun. Like, I like to just go back to Vegas, just like experience Vegas to not have to like go to a concert for 2 days. Like, there's other things I'd love to do, but it is a very expensive town. And I went during spring break, so it was even more expensive being out there. And it's definitely one of those towns that's like more expensive on the weekend, cheaper during the week because everyone goes. It's a weekend town, and I'm not gonna lie. When I came flying home on Monday, I was exhausted from all the walking and all the just energy and stuff. Like, I was sucked dry, and my boyfriend was really surprised how exhausted I was. Because he's like, an extrovert like you, a party person like you. I'm like, yes, even me, I was drained after all that. So, but it was a fun experience. And like I said, I'm excited for this BTS comeback now. I'm assuming we're going to start getting teasers mid-May.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I am too.
We'll see what happens because I know they've been going more of a pop sound as of late. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what the album entails. But before we get into the album reviews, like I said, the same night that BTS announced to come back.
Same night. It's like, oh my god, is like the K-pop industry trying to kill us? Last Saturday.
I felt like it. Yeah. Happy Easter, everybody. The K-pop world trying to kill us, especially if you're a multi-stan, especially if you're an old school multi-stan. Because I mean, you had Jackson Wang out there playing at Coachella. I mean, the night before at Coachella, Friday night, you had Epik High performing, which I heard was an amazing set. I mean, it was kind of the wrap up with their US tour because they had been touring here in the States since February, I think. So I think it's kind of the wrap up of their US tour, and they got to perform at Coachella. So, and this 20 plus year old hip hop group, K hip hop group, still out there showing it and doing it. For everything that's been at Coachella is just amazing, and everything. Also, I'm just gonna say this right now because I saw this on Twitter earlier, but all the blinks out there throwing hate at Epik High just because they were saying like they were like one of the first groups to get booked or whatever. It's like, just stop. You're embarrassing yourselves.
Yeah, pretty much every toxic fandom on Twitter. Like, Twitter is like the worst platform for a lot of these fans. It's just like pitting against each other. Like, BTS is just like the only one who BTS paved the way.
Well, apparently they were throwing a lot of hate on Tableau and DJ Tukuts and like on all three of the members on their Instagrams. And so like people were like, go throw purple hearts because like since they've worked with BTS. And like they're huge parts of BTS, like all like armies go throw some purple hearts, like other fans go throw some like hearts and some love their way because they've like inspired so many K-pop groups with their music.
BTS is one of their biggest examples. Like BTS, like when they first started out, they sampled one of the songs from Epik High. Right.
So like they are a pioneer. They are a pillar of like modern K-pop. So y'all wouldn't have modern K-pop as it is now without Epik High.
You wouldn't have BTS without Epik High. Yeah.
Exactly. So I do appreciate the people giving them love because they do deserve that love. But yeah, they had an amazing set. I'm happy they got to wrap up their US tour fabulously out at Coachella. Hopefully got some new fans out there too, because I know they're playing some of their new stuff, some of their older stuff. So heard the set list was great. And then night 2, Jackson Wang's out there at Coachella of GOT7, who's performing, a lot of his solo stuff. And, he's hyping up and getting ready for his new album coming out later this year, whenever that is, because he's been kind of doing a media tour a little bit with that as well, performing at Coachella. He's been on a couple entertainment shows. I've seen a couple of videos because he's also been talking a little bit about his mental health kind of as of late, because he kind of was going through some stuff towards the end of 2021, just kind of like him as a performer and him creating music and all this stuff. And that's kind of what's led to this new album, Magic Man, that's coming out later this year. But from the stuff I saw from like his Instagram as well as other videos and stuff, like that performance itself would look insane. Like he had some insane energy on stage. I don't know if you saw any of the videos, Ginny.
I barely got to watch it, Some of the pictures I have from Jackson Wang is just like a bit, at least disrespectful.
Oh, the one you put on Instagram?
But there's so many pictures from that. So I was like hard for me to choose, like, which one's a good one then? Yeah,
he took his shirt off. But I mean, because I saw some of it from his Instagram, because he had like a kind of compilation of like stuff from like backstage as well as him performing and stuff, and like he's doing everything from like his newest single Blow to like previous singles and stuff, and like he's just been he's killing it, and that was such a great performance, and great to see him doing this now, because I mean now we found out GOT7's having a comeback in May. Of all times.
After Jackson was finished with Coachella, he flew straight to South Korea so he can start his thing with GOT7. That was pretty crazy schedule.
Yeah, because it sounds like they'll be doing whatever their comeback now for GOT7, the 7 of them now, and then I'm sure after that he'll probably then drop Magic Man. So it sounds like it's later this year sometime he's dropping that album. So we're going to get more music from Jackson Wang eventually this year. So, and then the big one that shook people, because I remember waking up to this Sunday morning, Easter morning, and being everyone just like literally shook to the floor was, thank you, Ginny, was CL's performance at Coachella, because CL's been doing a lot of stuff, a lot of promotion here in the States now too, especially with her last album, her full album that came out last year, her Alpha album. And on stage, she had a mini reunion with the other 3 members of 21, which y'all would not have Blackpink without 21, because 21 was like the girl group at YG back in the day. So
the second generation, they're like the mothers of of Blackpink.
Yeah, they really are the mothers of Blackpink. Like a lot of Blackpink sound, I feel like you can attribute to 21, because I think there are some 21 songs, like late 21 songs, that were eventually turned into Blackpink songs, like early Blackpink. Right. Like I think that's actually in their history. Like I think CL or one of the members of 21 has said that. I think CL might have said that. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. But yeah, no, because Park Bom, Dara, and Minzy all came back on stage, and they came on stage and performed "I Am the Best," which is like one of their best known songs.
Their best known songs.
Their best known song, I know, which is literally called "I Am the Best," and literally, I think just tore it down. And yeah, it was just, that was like the like what the moment of Coachella, at least for like the K-pop side of things.
Yeah, it's like on Twitter, it's like no one, no offense, but it's like there's a lot, it's like a less people trending other than like 21 that is, I think, is like the most trending on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's just pretty much like like just exemplifies like the power of like like the legends of K-pop back in the second generations, and just goes to show you how like they're so well known back in the day, and they're still still renowned, or like still resonate with a lot of people in this generation.
Yeah, like they still have that much power, and that song came out in 2011, I think. So it's like an 11-year-old song.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were my first taste of the genre. I remember hearing that song a lot when I was in the Philippines. So it was big there. I think it was just Fire. I don't think I heard I Am the Best till like a year or two later. But definitely the Fire, the song Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely one of their.
That was like
biggest
earlier,
songs, yeah.
slightly earlier.
That's I think that's their debut. I think is Fire.
Mm.
I think it was like 2009 or something like that. So
Also, 2009.
Yeah. Also, Sandara is also grew up in the Philippines, so that's why I suppose a lot of like Philippines or Filipino fans really hold up to their idol.
Yeah,
and it just not just the music, but K-dramas and stuff are huge in the Philippines.
Yeah.
It's like
I think they were because they were definitely one of the groups part of that initial the Korean wave, the Hallelujah wave, back in the early early teens, like 2009, 10, 11, because like especially in East Asia, because like the Philippines and Thailand and Vietnam, we're getting a lot of like the K dramas and the K-pop. So a lot of the second gen groups were definitely getting like promoted heavily like in that part of the world, and like that was the first push of like the K wave. Because I feel like we're getting like a secondary, tertiary wave now of K, like of the K wave now, with like everything now with K-pop and like K cinema, and K beauty and other things.
Right.
And I feel like we're like, I think it's almost like a tertiary wave at this point. So I think we had a second wave with like BTS. Now we're like on this like third wave.
Yeah, and also like with Stray Kids becoming bigger, international borders. So
it's always fascinating to see what was big in East Asia. It was like it seemed to be the huge things were K-pop and Linkin Park. I don't know why. Those are the two that are just massive for whatever reason.
Really?
Yeah. Those are the two big ones.
Wow, that shocks me. Like, I mean, well, I guess because Linkin Park at that point was they were doing all the music for Transformers at that point because like I feel like they're kind of
that might be
why.
Wait,
that definitely helps out.
Are you talking about Linkin Park in the Philippines? Because I know, Linkin Park was so big back in the 2000s.
Philippines, probably Japan too, even China.
Yeah.
Just I don't know why.
Me
band?
neither.
I mean, of course they were big worldwide, but just massive in Asia.
It resonated with us. I remember my aunt blasting Linkin Park before we moved to Canada. It was like it was memorable. I was like, "Shut up when I'm talking to you." And I got in trouble by my mom when I was like, "What?
Oh yeah, the first two albums still hold up. First two albums still.
Oh, hands down, hands down, still definitely hold up to this day. I will still go back to that. Ginny knows my emo bleeding heart. Hands down.
Yeah, I'm not big into emo, but like with Linkin Park, that's that's my thing.
Yeah, I guess they fall more into the alt metal. I guess
they're more the alt metal, yeah. But I would occasionally dabble into that, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely
it isn't, Simple Plan or something.
Oh God!
I don't know if that's
let's not talk about Simple Plan. No. Oh God, no.
It's like. There was a dark time in kind of the early 2000s.
Yeah, there definitely was.
Or late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it's a dark. I mean, there were gems in there as well, but that was the dark period of music that I had to grow up in. I had to grow up with Limp Bizkit playing on the radio.
I was going to say Limp Bizkit as an example. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then we have a friend of ours who likes to. Anyway, I'm not calling out a certain somebody on the show. Not that he listens to the show. Let's not. But let's get back to our Coachella here because we're like, I know we're running late and we should probably get to our reviews here. But I mean, and the crazy thing too with all those like K-pop stuff too with Coachella, like weekend one, is that this isn't even all the K-pop that's coming to Coachella because this weekend and literally tonight, the night we're recording this, Saturday the 23rd. aespa's performing at Coachella tonight, and I'm hoping, and supposedly actually it's supposed to be debuting a new song at Coachella tonight. That's the rumor I hear.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So we'll see, and I'm hoping they actually get to perform live because SM likes to auto-tune the heck out of them on their stage.
Also, they did the same rumor with BTS. Like, apparently they're gonna like perform their new song in their concerts, which that didn't happen.
No. We just got an album announcement. That's it. And that was night 4.
Hey,
So.
it's a start. It's something. It's something. Do you think
Like
that? I guess I'm not sure if all the groups do this, but it seems like so the K-pop groups like will drop the single and the album at the same time. Do you think that will be the case with these upcoming groups or these upcoming releases?
Depends. It depends on how they want to do it, because like it could be a thing like with 17, and we'll talk when we talk about 17 later, where they did a pre-release before their album comes out. Sometimes they'll do like pre-release singles before the album comes out, but most of the time it is like when the album comes out, there's the title track and that's it, and then like they'll do maybe like a B-side depending on the group, or if you're Stray Kids, you'll like do B-sides for multiple.
Yeah, for all music videos. Yeah, do music videos
for most
all
of your songs. But yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting because like it depends on the group and it depends on what they think they're feeling that come back. Honestly, because occasionally like we do get another music video for like a B-side. Like I said, ATEEZ has done it before. Like they'll have us like literally vote for the main title track, and then the secondary one will come out like later. Because they've done that to us now like twice or 3 times in our history, because they had to do this for like Wave and Illusion, and they had to do it for like Deception and Thanks, and they had to do it for Deja Vu and Eternal Sunshine. So every group kind of does it differently, but most of the time it's like day of, you get like the full album as well as title track. But these BTS, I mean, they're changing the game, and like the popularity is still like immense, so who knows if we'll get something in May with them. I don't know, because it sounds like with the announcements, like everything's coming June 10th. So, but then there's also like the example I'll give it twice, that they teased "Cry for Me" at Mama's 2020, and that was a B-side that came out later on. So there's that possibility too. So there's times they have released new music at like bigger events. So who knows? We'll see what happens. We all don't think that K-pop's coming over to the Western world. You're all wrong.
Yeah, you think it's gonna be like just bad, or just not going to be temporary after Gangnam Style. You started with Gangnam Style, and you're gonna say this with BTS, and then you're probably gonna say that with Stray Kids. But
yeah, which I will say, the Stray Kids Onew is still freaking charting. That's insane to me. So I mean, it's still charting in the album charts. So that's insane. I mean, it didn't hit number 1 again, but it's still charting, and it's still charting very well. So, for a K-pop album, that's impressive, because most of the time the sales just like drop off immediately because everyone pre-ordered it, and they got their photo cards. Which I will say, I finally got my Ordinary albums.
Oh, really?
So I did. I will have to show you after the show what all my polls were for.
Okay.
Because they actually gave me bonus ones because there was a misprint, so I actually got bonus photo cards on my polls.
Oh, cool!
It's kind of a nice bonus. So. But this isn't a unboxing. I need to do some unboxings, I feel like.
Yeah, we should do,
I need
some content for our newest podcast.
I should do some bonus. I had some other content ideas, but that's later. But let's get into these album reviews, because we got a lot of music to talk about. So, and I know we're going to talk a lot about Dreamcatcher. So let's get going, and let's start with our first review of the week, and that's with Onew, again from SHINee. And his second mini album, Dice, with also the same title track, Dice, which came out back on the 11th of April. And I will say this. I love the fact when you tagged me on this, Ginny, on Facebook, like the very, very Squid Games, because I was watching this in Vegas, because I was literally flying out that day. And I was like, I was so trippy, like watching this post BTS and stuff. And
Yeah,
especially like... Just
it's
all
kind of
like
weird
the
now.
Squid Game stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird now after like having fun with BTS, and now it's like, oh yeah, there's other like K-pop artists out there. That you should,
I was still listening to other artists. Like I was still promoting my multi-stan agenda out there. Like I will promote my multi-stan agenda to the death.
Yeah, don't do it in front of like the BTS fans in Vegas, and just blasting out like NCT or Stray Kids. Like, what the fuck?
No, I won't do it. Like I won't do it to like the hardcore fans. I will do it to the people who like. I somehow do find the other multis out there. So
yeah, it's hard. It's hard, especially like a lot of like solo stans. Is like,
yeah,
don't want to deal with those.
But I do, and I had other friends. I had the friends I was staying with, like, were hoping for me to introduce them to more stuff. So, like, because I had a whole playlist of like other K-pop. Like, I had NCT, I had Stray Kids, ATEEZ, ITZY. Who else did I have on my playlist? A bunch of EXO, solo stuff from EXO, Taemin. I had a bunch of stuff on there. Stacy. I had a bunch of stuff on that playlist. So it's a mix of both female and male groups. I'm still making that list bigger because I want to get more like second gen stuff and third gen groups on there because I want to get some like New West and get some like Big Bang and some like Wonder Girls and get some 21 and some other stuff on there too. So still collaborating this list together, but yeah, no, this album. Let's get into this album first because I keep sidebarring here. With Dice, it's just like a cool, like funky sound. Like I wasn't expecting like a funk sound from Onew.
Yeah, it's a bit of like a retro sound, but it still feels a bit some modern touch into it.
Yeah, it still has very, very modern tastes to it, but I mean, it's not as like funky as like some of the other tracks on this album, which we'll get into, but it still has this like really cool like retro R&B kind of sound to it. It actually fits really well. Like it's a good like companion piece to Key's Bad Love from last year.
Exactly. It's like you could like listen to those back to back. Yeah,
and the like I said, the visuals in the music video are really cool / creepy in a way.
It's the thing with SHINee. Is like you kind of notice with some of their music videos. An example would be like Married to the Music. Like they have like this. They're like really bright and very, what do you call that? Yeah, bright and uplifting with their music. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like their music or their videos can be like kind of surreal and a bit creepy. They're very vibrant, but there's some like creepy undertones. It's like, okay, what the heck's going on here? Right.
Yeah. Like, cause like there's like a lot of like almost like Squid Game-esque like analogies, like I'm not want to say analogies because it's very Squid Games-esque. So like the people in the masks and like the bright colors and like very playful kind of sets and like him kind of going around sneaking around trying to find the girl that he was like trying to find kidnapped, and then like he's got this like D20, which the nerd in me was screaming, not gonna lie, the D&D nerd in me was screaming, but because like he's using the D&D the D20 to kind of like make his decisions for him, so it's very like D&D meets Squid Games in a way. And yeah, it's just like this cool like surrealistic kind of music video. But yeah, like it works with the song because like it's a very bright song, but then yeah, it has like the darker surrealistic edge with the music video. And yeah, I mean, I like that like more like pop funk retro-y sound for him because he's got the really bright voice to kind of like fulfill that.
Yeah, well, yeah, with SHINee Onew is like you can like really tell by Onew's voice. It's like his voice is very distinctive when you compare them with his other members, and it's like really like it can compare to like an operatic vibrato kind of sense because it sounds really different from like the rest of the idols. Like you can tell like Onew's voice is like, oh, that's his voice.
Yeah, he has a very distinctive voice, like vocal color. I guess that's the best way to put it. And so like you can tell like, oh, that's Onew, like from like first listen. And so it fits super, super well. And I like it. It's a really cool kind of cute song. And I like it. And like I said, paired with the surrealistic music video, it's kind of this cool mashup. Like I said, it fits super well with Key's Bad Love because it's kind of like that same thing with Key, like having like this like heartbreaking like breakup song, and then like the weird like 80s like surrealistic kind of images with it.
Yeah, and also I think with Onew, I think in contrasting to Key's like darker tone to Bad Love, I think this feels more like more optimistic, I guess, because you can tell by like, the music video, it's like very it goes to like in a happy end, and it's like very I don't know what the word is. It's just it's very like it's bright and also just like makes you feel good. It's a feel good type of song.
Yeah, there's more positivity at the end of it because like there's a happy ending to it. I mean, spoiler alert, there's a happy ending to this one. But it kind of fits for the song and it fits for his style and his personality. So And I like that. So, and so could leave keys, which is a little bit more like ambiguous with the ending, I feel like. So, yeah, I don't know. I really dig the sound because I really dig like this like this like post retro sound like most of the members of SHINee have been doing with their solo stuff now that outside of Taemin, who's been in the military.
Yeah, of all those groups, like SHINee like really does best with, you know, like more of a classic retro type of sound. Yeah, this song feels very nostalgic, and yeah, like it kind of puts into like you wanted to like go someplace else. It's like it really does well because of the verses, and from the verse it started really quiet and really pulled back, but when you go into the chorus, it really hits you.
Oh yeah, it just kind of hits you with like that rolling dice, like that just power.
Dice. Yeah,
and it's the swelling of the music. It really fulfills that kind of like the power of the chorus.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised though. I don't think I consider this a feedback, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Onew didn't really rely on that on his like his powerful vocals, because you know, like other than the late Jonghyun, Onew is like another like powerful, very very strong vocalist in their group, and yeah, I'm just like I'm pleasantly surprised is that like he didn't really use it that much in a lot of his songs here. They're mostly just like under like a lower key and all that.
Yeah, he's very reeled back, especially on the B-sides. Do we want to get into the B-sides of this album?
Yeah.
Because it's very reeled back. Because I mean, a lot of the secondary tracks, like Sunshine and On the Way, like I think it's two of my favorite of the tracks, especially On the Way. Is like he's definitely in the lower range. He's not belting it out. Like he definitely can belt it out. Like we've seen it on SHINee tracks. We've seen it, I think, on his first solo album too. And yeah, he's more reeled in. But like I would almost compare On the Way, that's like it's very Silk Sonic-esque. Like it's that very 70s funk. It's so strong. I wonder if it's because it's also produced by Cha Cha Malone. Because you can hear that and hear Cha Cha Beat Boy. Like it's a Cha Cha Malone track. So I wonder if that's part of it. But it's super like it could fit in the Silk Sonic like discography.
Right.
It's very much in that kind of style and sound, and it works really well with like his lower register, which I was surprised actually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing with me. I love two of those songs. I think it really like flows well after listening to Dice. It's it's very consistent. That's what I like about this album. It's like really consistent and doesn't feel like jarring when you go to like the next track. It's like, you know, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's very appealing for you, you know, for your listening ears, so to say.
Yeah, it's on. I mean, sometimes it's cool, like when people do hop like different genres. Because then we were talking, me and Chris were talking off mic about a group that just like had an album that's just like every genre out there. But it's nice when they have like there's some like consistency or like consistent thread throughout that you can like latch onto, and then just have like that kind of be like your driving force throughout the whole album. I do like that. Sometimes I do like the chaos though too, but this is nice having that like consistent like R&B funk driving thread throughout. Although I will say, Yo Wooby, like the second to last track on here.
Yeah, my other favorite track.
That was a really other favorite because I really dug it because it had like an early like 90s alt sound to it. I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Like it sounded like a lot of stuff I used to listen to back when I used to work at a radio station. Way back in the day, post college, I used to work at an alternative rock station, and they played a ton of like 90s alt, especially during the like lunch hour and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I felt too. It was like almost like I don't know if Radiohead would kind of be a close into a comparison, but like it's like almost like a girl. It's like a slow type of R&B, but also mixed in with a lot of like rock. Yeah, a bit of a rock and the alt rock, and it's not as like not as like those ballad. The emotional ballad pieces that you can hear, but it's more of like you can like sway into the mood and all that.
Yeah,
it doesn't hit you emotionally, but I just like really dug like like how it sounds. It's just like you can really like like slow dance into it if you like.
No, I feel that. Like I was almost getting like Oasis kind of vibes from it. I don't know if that's a good comparison,
Yeah, more
'cause-
of a Brit pop. Yeah, I think it would be more.
yeah,
of
it was a little more Brit pop, Brit alt rock. Like I said, that early '90s alternative rock. If you kind of were into that sound, it definitely had those colors and those vibes to me. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you didn't think it'd fit on this album, but it does still kind of tie into the whole R&B kind of style that he's playing with. And I mean, it generally flows into that because like we have this more like, you know, postmodern 70s or post retro 70s kind of style. And then it kind of eventually flows into like this more like modern kind of sounds, like I said, towards the end of the album, which is kind of nice. I thought it was a really solid album.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it'll be my favorite, but I really dug like, you know, a lot of the songs there. I'll see if I can, you know, like change my tune into it. But yeah, I think, you know, Chris, I know like your like your taste when it comes to like listening to like, you know, male artists and all that. Because you know, I think with Onew, I think his voice like really hits different.
Yeah, it's not nasally because I know you have a thing against like more nasally voices, especially for the male artists. He's not really nasally. He's got a more soothing sound.
All right, I'll have to check him out because a lot of I don't know. It seems like a lot of the male vocalists, it just there's too much. It's either the nasal or it's just there's too much of a clean shine on their vocals that kind of keeps me away from them. So. But I'll have to check it out, especially if the music is catchy and kind of has a bit of an edge to it.
Yeah, I think with him, I think his voice feels like more natural because you don't hear that type of voice in, you know, K-pop groups, you know, in this industry because like they like a lot of them would sound close with, you know, with their nasally voice, but yeah, with this one, it's like he's really different.
Yeah, I agree with that. I very much agree with that. So. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not my favorite SM because SM's been killing it with the solo artists this year.
Yeah. Like if you haven't listened to Max Chungmin's album, it's like it's full on. Like you can hear. It's like you could have, you probably could have heard this in like in the 70s because I think that's one of the most retro or like very ode to a lot of like classic American pop music.
Yeah, and like gospel and like Americana. Sounds in Max Chungmin's album. That's probably one of my favorite albums currently this year.
Bit of a Meatloaf vibe, or like some like Rocky Horror Picture in some of the tracks is like whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. That's I think one of my highest glowing recommendations right now of this year's Max Chungmin's album. Like I said, that's some allegations to not, you know, continue in this podcast, but like I said, the solo artists have been killing it this year. Like the solo work has been fantastic, and it would have been a tall order for Onew, I think, to like add his name to that because they've just been so good. Like I said, between Max, between Taeyeon. I'm trying to think what else I have on my like solo list right now. Because I have a couple other ones on there too. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's still a solid album. It's still a very solid album. Something I was not expecting from Onew. So, but with that, I think we'll move on to our next album. And we're going to move into a bit of more modern, or more, I guess, modern K-pop, because we're going to talk about a fourth generation group. And that's Epex, which is more of a newer debut group because they've been out now for, I'm trying to think.
Last year, right? Is that last year?
Like middle of last year, I think they debuted. So they've been out for, not even a year yet. And this is the third album, Prelude of Anxiety Chapter 1, 21st Century Boys. That's a mouthful. And their title track, they know there's a Korean version of the title track, but the English version is Anthem of Teen Spirit. This came back out also on the 11th as well, actually. And I will say this with Epex, with their stuff, like they keep surprising me every time they come out with something new because like they really do tie in really well with the theme of their album. Every time that they have come out with a new album, because we saw that with the first one with Bipolar Part 1, Prelude of Anxiety, which was, you know,
their debut title, which I enjoyed. Like that really hyped me up when like at first like, oh man, like I should really give them a chance.
Yeah, when Lockdown came out, that was like, because that was so aggressive in your face and like again, they had that anxiety to it. And then Do For Me, which was completely opposite of that. It was more like, you know, it was more of like a fluff. I don't want to say fluffier. Fluffier is not the correct term. It was a brighter song.
Yeah, an upbeat, you know, side to them. Which it really does fit with the concept of like bipolar, I guess.
Yeah, like they fit that bipolar very, very well with those two comebacks. And now we're in Prelude of Anxiety,
back to the dark
1.
stuff.
So, with 21st Century Boys here, and so, yeah, I mean, I wonder what your thoughts are, I guess, on Anthem of Teen Spirit.
Okay, yes. Well, it's not much. Pretty much, like Smells Like Teen Spirit. That type.
Oh
of,
no, it's not that at all.
Not the type of feel, but when it comes to Epex, I think I really prefer like their darker stuff more than like their upbeat, like their last album. I think because I don't know, it just really fits, into their style, and and they really specialize with like their aggressive hip hop more than like just like the regular teeny bop type of like pop songs. So with this, I really dug like the music, and it's just like it really gets you hyped up. And for some reason, like the music video, or it gives me a lot of like vibes from EXO's Monster, because it has like almost like a similar situation, or like some of the props that they use, like with them being chased down by the police, and like them being like that, like the rebellious teens that they try to portray themselves as such. It really gets you like excited, and just like makes you want to do a lot of like just like rebel against the law or something like that, because like
anarchy and stuff.
Whenever they chant, like it's like their group, like whenever like their unison chants, it really like puts like that much power into it. Other than that, I've heard stuff like, because I haven't like listened to like the song until recently, but I can kind of see what happened, like why they kind of got like flack from a certain element, and we're not going to blame the boys on that. But all I could say is, wow, this would really fight with the Hitler Youth program. And why are we saying that? Because some the lyrics contain references from like Nazi terms, which is the term crystal light that they say in the chorus.
Yeah,
have you heard about this, Jenny?
I hadn't heard about this.
Okay,
Crystal Night, the attack on Poland. Like I think that's what I was like saying. I've heard incredible stuff surrounding about this album, because like they got hit by controversy for having like lyrics containing the crystal light, which is like a Nazi reference term that they use for like, I don't know, like for their prison camps or something like that. It's kind of like a Joy Division type of like context, I think it's something to do with. I could be wrong, but I think it was kind of the beginning of World War II, where they invaded when they invaded Poland, when Germany invaded Poland.
Yeah,
that was Crystal Night or Crystal Knot.
Yeah, Crystal Nacht. Yeah, Crystal Nacht is like the night where they were rounding up a lot of the Jews.
That's probably part of it too.
Yeah, so I don't know who freaking wrote that for them, so we don't blame the boys on that. But
no.
Even like make things a bit worse. It's like their costumes had like them in the military uniform.
Yeah.
So like, what is going on? Like,
ooh. At least switch it to like Night of Crystals, because that sounds like like a starry sky or something.
Yeah, Night of Crystals, right?
Like,
they said Crystal Night is coming to you. It's like,
that's
ew. Yeah, no. There's somebody should have.
That's why I feel bad, because I enjoy the music, but like for like the writers to put that reference, like, what are they thinking, man?
Yeah, and just with some of the imagery in the music video, just like there's imagery of like them getting like tortured and stuff. Like it's like, ooh, like some of this is just like, oh, that's like not sitting super well. Like just, I mean, I know it's just like a blink and you miss a reference, but it's just like, yeah, you like almost like. Yeah, like right towards the end, like Crystal Night is coming. It's like, ooh. I think it's supposed to say Crystal Light is coming, not Crystal Night is coming. I think in the subtitles, but it's Light and Night are.
I could have sworn they said Crystal Night or something, but
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be Crystal Light is coming, not Night.
okay, because the label did respond to like the criticisms. It's like oh yeah, we've heard about like your not complaints, but like your concerns about it, and then we'll be trying to change some of the stuff in there.
Unless they change the subtitles later, because they might have just changed it later.
Because I was late into listening and like watching the video, so I didn't know what the heck they changed there. It's like, are you sure they changed some of the stuff there? Because I don't know. But I feel really bad because like I enjoy the music, but like I can understand. It's like, well, why did you guys put that in there?
Right.
Man, the writers might not have known that expression. They just might not.
Exactly.
They might not be as read up on World War II history as as the West. So.
Oh yeah, but there was like kind of reminds me of like what happened to one of the members from G Idol that got like controversy for kissing up on like this Nazi soldier statue.
Oh
yeah. It was like she was with like taking a pose with like this Nazi mannequin, and she was like kissing up on it. Like, oh damn.
Yeah. There's sometimes it's just like. Because obviously there's different interpretations of the war between the West and the East. I mean, obviously Korea was obviously, mostly, controlled by Japan at that point in the war. So obviously their perspective on the war is a little different than our perspective of the war. So,
yeah.
And I'm assuming like, obviously when they study it, it's different too. So, but yeah, it's just like, I know, like you see that in the, because you could easily hear Crystal Night, Crystal Light. It could be either way because it's Night Light are super close to one another phonetically. So it's just like it could really go either way, and just like I do enjoy the music. I do like the song because I do love their harder hitting stuff, but it's just like with that and the imagery in the music video, and it's just like you know what I mean.
Maybe they'll come out with the instrumental. You can listen to that.
I know,
one.
And then you just rock to it. I know eventually, like, the controversy will go away because it always does. But it's just like, especially if they someone did change it to light, which I don't think it'll change it too much, honestly. In this one of the things, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just the one term. It's just the one term which they do repeat in the chorus. But other than that, it's just like
Yeah.
The rest are good. The rest are okay. But yeah, that's what I said. Like this would fly in the Hitler Youth program, which is.
What was the name of the song?
Anthem of Teen Spirit.
No, that's.
Yeah. Smells like Teen Spirit. So switch what smells like and just put Anthem of Teen Spirit.
Yeah. And the more we're digging into this, the more just like, ooh, cringe.
Yeah, when the crystal light goes out, it's contagious. Yeah, that's or crystal night, crystal light, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but
something like that. Let's go with that, maybe. Because like I want to like the song, but then just like that kind of stuff, you're just like, ugh. And that just kind of like,
oh, there's like a big oof for it, like that.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, no, it's just it's hard. It's really hard to like it after that. Oh.
I know. It's like if I say, oh, I enjoy that song. Oh, you support like Nazis? Like what? No. If I support Joy Division, like oh, you support like Nazis? Like no, it's just like they got the name out of it.
No, it's like they got the name of something else. Like don't force things on me.
They don't have like the fascist idealism.
Right. I just like. It's like, don't force shit into me. It's like, that's not what I'm here for.
Don't assume things about me.
You listen to Franz.
Don't assume.
You listen to Franz Ferdinand, the ambassador that just got shot and it started World War I.
You enjoy Led Zeppelin. They enjoy have like the pictures of like the Zeppelin exploding and all that.
Right. This is like, it's just like, oh my God. It's just like.
Yeah, just be mad that they stole from, number of black artists. That's
how about that?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, we've had plenty of controversies on seeing black artists appropriating black culture and stuff. And then, we have stuff like this. It's just like, oh.
bringing out fashion.
Yeah,
like,
for a while, there'd been music. The big thing with music was going on in music was a lot of these. What do you call it? They say like, oh, they copied. Maybe the most recent one was Dua Lipa. Some band saying like, oh, they stole my song for I forget which song it was, Hallucinate or something like that.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was recent, so I think that's going on, and that's been going on for a while. I think Radiohead's Creep. They said for some. What's her name?
That wasn't Olivia Rodrigo, because I know she had a bunch of stuff with her recent or their first album, obviously, and then royalties.
It was a female artist.
But I know which one. I know what you're talking about. I cannot think of the artist right now, but I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Like, we had obviously in the West too. Lana
Del Rey. I don't remember which song it was, but yeah, there's been a couple. Of course, Led Zeppelin had one as well from some band, 50 years ago. But the actual lawsuit was recent in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and we just literally had a whole like song stealing thing too in K-pop as of late when So Young of Idol literally stole like the chorus of ATEEZ's Wave for a girl group competition show.
That was pretty blatant. Like you can like it's like 98% the similar, the similarities are just like
98% literally the chorus of Wave. You just took out the Hakuna Matata. That was it. That's all you took out. It was literally like beat for beat, same pitch, like cadence, everything. It was like literally on point. It was like
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, there's
I have to play for you.
Okay.
I'll play for you after.
K-pop, BTS and ATEEZ have Hakuna Matata references for some reason.
Yes.
Well, it's a wonderful phrase.
Right.
But okay, anyway, let's another sidebar. But let's get back to Epex since we now divided ourselves away from Nazi Germany. Is there any other song for this album you like?
Talking about like Nazi references and like stealing from other artists.
Stealing from other artists.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Music industry. I like the
because like
again like the album really. The album, the album is like really consistent, like how like it really like connects everything to like the certain theme of what they're trying to like portray here. So I really like the tracks of Burnout and Strike. I think it's like they sound really similar in terms of like having like other hard hitting hip hop, which I think they really excel at the most. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think Strike. With Burnout and Strike, it really like puts into like the kind of themes of like the thrill of like the whole mood, and like it's like very morose, teen angst driven, and almost dystopian. Like even if you include the title track of Anthem of a Teen Spirit, like it feels very, very dystopian.
It does, yeah. There is a very dystopian-esque tinge to it. I mean, and you get that in the music video too, outside of the other references we were talking about. I also like the first track, Lone Wolf. For some reason was giving me vibes back to Wolfgang from Stray Kids, but like with a more Latin flair.
Yeah, or Wolf, but if it's more improved by EXO.
Thank you. Like I really enjoyed that. Like it had this cool, more like Latin tropical beat to it to kind of kick off the album, because it still kind of had like the darker, I guess, more dystopian tinges to it. But it still had this weird like tropical brightness. So like this weird duality to it that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It was kind of an interesting way to kick off the album. So, but yeah. Oh, I cannot now. That song. I want to like it.
Yeah, I love the beat. I love the beat, but just don't pay attention to the lyrics.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. Like I said, I'm hoping something that'll pass, eventually, and maybe they'll change the lyrics or something. I don't know, because like I said, it's not something like major, like won't be like a huge thing to change, but just big oofs to that.
Yeah.
Just,
someone fire the songwriters.
Yeah, somebody at C9 Entertainment got in a lot of trouble there. A lot of trouble. I'll point that out because, like, again, it's not on the boys. That's definitely not on the boys. That was somebody at C9 who probably should have done a little bit more research on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. That's the big oofs. So, But let's get into the main crux of our episode here, because this is why we brought Chris on the show.
His purpose of me. No, I'm kidding, Chris.
No, we're here to talk about Went to Germany. We're here to talk about Dreamcatcher, which came out on the 12th of April with I think this is their second full album, I think, technically.
I think so.
Their history here, and this is a long album because this is 14 tracks long, but their newest album, Dystopia Save Us, or Apocalypse Save Us, excuse me.
Save Us. Yeah, all their other stuff had been some version of Dystopia subtitle. Dystopia subtitle.
Yeah, but now we're actually like hit the apocalypse now.
We're hit the apocalypse now. Oh wow, we are in the end
no! Don't bring that reference into this. No. Don't do that. But yeah, no, we're now to the apocalypse with because they kind of had like these like apocalyptic kind of like tendencies in their music videos and stuff. And and their title track, Maison, I think Maison, is that how you pronounce it?
Maison, which would be French for house.
It's French.
For house. Your house.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like is like their like interpretation of like the world, like the earth, because there's a lot of references, I feel like, to like protecting the earth and stuff in this song. Fits really well for Earth Day, which just passed. Yeah, I was gonna say really fits well for Earth Day.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I'm kind of interested because when I listened to the song, I was kind of expecting that we're in the apocalypse now and we're in the end times, so I would expect that they go like heavier with like the more metal side of it. But I'm really surprised that it's more. I think it's one of the most the poppiest sound that they've had so far. Like they have like a bit of like the electric guitar at on the side, but I think it really delves in more into like the pop side and more of like an upbeat. Upbeat tone into it.
Upbeat for Dreamcatcher, we'll say, because
it's like more fast-paced. It's like more fast-paced.
Their upbeat's different than other groups' upbeat because they definitely have had because they've really had a lot of like new metal, alt rock, general like rock, influences with their music. I will give like my son has a lot of like gives me a lot of recollection back to like Evanescence back in the day. This title track, especially like when it gets into like the second chorus or the second verse and the chorus towards the end, especially when it gets to like the more operatic stuff at the end, because Evanescence had a lot of that in their stuff, and it reminds me a lot of like Evanescence in that way. So
this is a group that, even with the previous songs I've heard from them, that definitely got a lot of Evanescence vibes, especially on the one EP that I really loved that had, I forget what it's called, but had No More and Don't Light My Fire and Eclipse. It was just like a three-song EP with like the instrumentals as well added on. Also hearing songs like I think it's Boca and Because, which are both kind of like harder, more metal inspired songs. It was, and even though I'd heard some other songs like Red Sun and Whistle and some other ones like that, I was surprised with this kind of more upbeat track to start off the record, even though it's like the third song on the record.
Yeah, because it comes after their intro, because they always have like these really grandiose. They're another one of these groups that have these more grandiose instrumentals, and they always do. I feel like for all their albums that have these instrumentals. Because I remember the one like before Piri is really like it ties in really really well into Piri, as well as I think the one before Boca, I really enjoy as well. Like that instrumental intro track, before it goes into the title track Boca. And those are some of their older title tracks, but yeah, like. They always like it really delves you into this world because like it kind of gets you into like that like more new metal rock, but like even the intro track was like very more like I was very surprised at like how more I won't say poppy because poppy's the wrong word. It's a little bit more I guess more pop rock.
I think so.
Sound. Like I said, more than we've seen from Dreamcatcher. I mean, it's like it has maybe a little bit more. I would have maybe a little bit more appeal to a general audience because it's not good as hard hitting I mean, it's still hard hitting, but not as hard hitting as some of their other stuff. But it might have more general appeal to a general audience with it.
Right.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good gateway for people to like, listen to Dreamcatcher, and then they can like fully adapt into like their more heavier stuff.
Yeah, I think just there are guitars on the song and the album, but I think that they're just lower in the mix compared to some of their other songs that they have, where it was front and center. But saying that, I did still enjoy the song, especially kind of the end of the song where it kind of built up a bit more, and there was a bit more like heavy like bass picking that kind of led through the end. I also think one kind of criticism I've had of Dreamcatcher on their other songs was their rapper. I think she's fine as a rapper, but it feels very jarring when she comes in on previous songs. I think throughout this album, she was placed very well, or she was able to kind of
talking about Dami. Like she has about like a lower voice.
Yeah,
Dami's the one.
yeah.
She's a very low voice. I think other songs it was just very jarring and kind of oddly placed into the song. It just kind of took me out of the song on previous ones, even on songs that I otherwise quite like. But in this case, throughout the whole album, I think she worked very well. It just all came together.
I think that's a valid criticism.
Yeah, I get it, because like a lot of like, like when it comes to having pop songs, but they have like the rap lines or the rap segment, it kind of feels, a bit jarring and it takes you out of place. So I do get that. And I guess in here, I didn't really notice anything jarring when I listened to the, from the vocals to going to the rap line. So,
I kind of compare it to those like 90s R&B songs where you have your R&B vocalist sing along, and then you'd have some random rapper come in just to like saying random things. You're like, okay, this guy disrupts the flow of the whole song, but
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Not as bad as that, but that is just, a minor critique of kind of the previous songs like Because and Boca and some other ones. But in this case, even like her solo song was probably one of my favorites out of the solo section.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was actually the pop.
We'll get into
we can get into that.
We'll get to the solo songs.
We'll focus on the group
honestly,
part and then the solo part.
Because that's what I love about this album is that we have them as a group. Like for the first, for like 4 or 5 songs, because they have the intro and then you have the skit, the 7 Doors, which is like a mid-album instrumental.
Which I'm trying to wonder why it's called a skit. Like when I say skit, I think of like all the hip hop albums that have like random skits scattered throughout the songs, and it's an actual skit. And this was just an instrumental, which was great. I love both the instrumentals on it, but
I always love their instrumentals.
I was expecting an actual skit. What it would be, I don't know, but.
I was, because if it was a skit or something, I was expecting like something like storyline wise, like with their stuff, because like they do kind of have some like kind of storyline with their music videos. Because if you've seen some of their other music videos, there's a lot of obviously like very fantasy. Obviously, you can see it in Maison. A lot of fantasy, a lot of dystopian, a lot of fighting each other, typically. In the music videos. I have to deep dive into more Dreamcatcher stuff. So I need to talk to Ray, because I feel like Ray knows a little bit more about Dreamcatcher lore than I do. I have to talk to her about that.
I would love her to have her say in this too here.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, she's still salty over Stray Kids tickets. Sorry, Ray. Sorry, I'm calling you out. I love you, but because that's what I thought like the skit 7 Doors was going to be. But I like the fact it's kind of an intro to kind of like split off into their 7 solos on the album, because each one of them got a solo track. So we each got to see a chance of them to showcase their each unique different like sounds, because they all like have different solos out that are in the album that really do cater to that themselves. And I really appreciated that. And I think they all like led writing wise on the on the solos, which was fantastic, I think, as well as with their production, because I mean it's their main producers. It's I believe it's Leeds and Olunder, which is part of Edenary. So because they've worked with them for most of their career. producing most of their stuff. Yeah, Leeds and Olunder, excuse me, were part of Edenary. So,
yeah, it was a nice kind of bridge to separate the group stuff and the solo stuff. So yeah, that I appreciated that kind of give that break in between.
yeah.
So you think there were any highlights on that first part for you guys, or any song that like stood out to you, your favorite, anything like that?
Well, I think after Maison, my favorite group track would be Starlight, because it has more of like a power. It's more of like a power '80s pop. So it gives people like more than the heavy synth keyboard playing. So I really enjoyed that.
It very much reminded me of she's a maniac. Maniac. That's I believe my favorite of the track. It's between that and the first song, the Keep the Door Open or something like that. Oh, Locked Inside a Door. Locked Inside a Door. It's between those two.
Yeah, for some reason,
Maison comes in third.
For some reason, I was thinking of Take On Me as a comparison. Like, why Take On Me? I don't know. It's probably the keyboard thing.
There's something really kind of like almost like city pop '80s to this that I really like.
It's not chill. It's more of like hyper energetic type of mood.
Usually, if a song's called Starlight, it gets my recommendation. Seems there's a couple bands with that song, like Muse and some others that have. It's like, oh, Starlight's a good song. I don't know what it is.
It does it super well. Oh, I love Muse's Starlight. Now that you said that, that is a good song. I love a good Muse song. That's one of my favorites. I also liked Always, because I think it was more melodic and beautiful. Kind of leads us into the skit, because it's the last one before the skit, and it's a nice transition into the instrumental to kind of finish up this first half of the album. It's got this beautiful melody to it that I really, really enjoyed. There's some almost some minor city pop vibes I'm getting throughout this album. Because a lot of the stuff, I feel like could be really used to for a girl magic girl anime.
Oh my god! That's what I was thinking about the skit portion of the album. I was imagining something with some anime clips in there, listening to that song.
Yeah, so it's something very that kind of city pop sort of could fit into a almost video game music as well. Could fit in there. But I also appreciate with Dreamcatcher, just a kind of last thing before we go into the solo stuff, or you guys give your final thoughts. I appreciate with this group, it seems like there's a lot of live instruments involved with the drums, and it's not just what can be created on a MIDI or keyboard and stuff. It's or just electronic drums. It seems like there's actual live instruments going on. So that's what I've been appreciating about this.
I think that's a general thing I see a lot with a lot of Edenary stuff, because I see a lot of that with ATEEZ and stuff, because Edenary does a lot of ATEEZ and stuff, because Olunder and Leeds have done a lot of work with ATEEZ as well, and they do have a lot of live instrumentals, I feel like, on their tracks, especially as of late. I've noticed a lot more live instrumentals than just more heavily produced stuff like the earlier days. I mean, they still kind of fall in the noise genre of things, but there's a lot of live instrumentation, I still feel like, on some of ATEEZ's stuff, especially some of their slower stuff. So I do like hearing I love hearing live instrumentals, and there's a lot of beautiful live instrumentation, I think, on this too, especially because I feel like it's a little bit more chill, especially with a lot of the B-sides, again with that city pop sound. So I guess we want to get into the solos, because I really could honestly recommend all 7 of them, because I think all of them are great. But is there any of them that stand out wholeheartedly to you, that you must listen to this?
I guess I enjoyed all of them to some degree. I enjoyed kind of some of the city pops or coffee house jazz type vibes to some of them. But I guess the ones that kind of stuck out to me were the ones that are a bit more, I guess, hard hitting somewhat, which was I forget who sang this one, but the one called No Dot stuck out to me. It was just kind of
to us.
All right, so there you go. It's kind of had these slinky synth lines, synth bass lines and stuff that that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed on that one. I don't know what no dot means, like if that's some type of expression or something, but yeah, no dot. And then kind of as I was mentioning before, Dami's one, which was kind of this like early 2000s pop punk type of song called Beautiful. Like two separate words for like you're full of, like literally full of beauty, I guess. So I was enjoying that one quite a bit. And I think that like 2000s pop sound was actually kind of very much complemented her like deeper voice. So those were my two standouts.
Yeah, I think I'm more of like in the opposite spectrum. I think I'm more of like, going back into that nostalgic retro sound. So I really enjoyed Gio's solo track, which is Cherry, Real Miracle. Yeah, that was like one of the tracks I felt surprised because like, hearing from Dreamcatcher, like having a more, poppier sound and, going to like the original heavier sounds, with like a new metal thing. And my other one would be Four, which is from Yuhan. Because it's very soulful and it's kind of almost like for me channeling some kind of like 60s pop sound.
Yeah, I remember liking that one quite a bit as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I like all of them a lot. I have to give a shout out to Entrancing, which is Sion's solo, because like it just did these beautiful vocals on it, and I really thought like the song could be either the ending to an anime, like the closing song, like you hear at the end of an anime, like at 2 a.m. Going back to the days of like Toonami here, or the end of a K-drama, like.
Oh God.
Either one. It really fits that like aesthetic super well. It's gorgeous and beautiful. It just has that kind of quality to it. Like, I'm sorry she hasn't been asked to do like a K-drama OST yet. I'm really, really shocked. And then I really do like Winter 2. Has again another one of those like city pop kind of sounds to it. And then that's also Han Dong's solo. So I love the fact that at the end of it she's singing in Mandarin. So, because you can hear a little bit at the end, she goes into Mandarin because that's her. She's Chinese. She's one of the Chinese members. So, I do like the fact that she's able to throw in some of her native language in there too. So,
excellent.
It has very wintry guitar tones and stuff. So that lives up to the name. That's pretty cool that we're kind of all across the board with the solo stuff.
And let's not knock against Gaihan, who has the last one on their Playground. That's still great. That's a great one too. That's the final solo track on there. It's like that's an also great track. Like I said, listen to all 7 of them. Mm-hmm. They're fantastic. Like they're all different colors, different unique sounds to them, and they just I think really do showcase their diversity as a group, and then the fact that they can all come together and like have this kind of cool, unique sound in K-pop that's like this more rock that we don't see, especially with the girl groups. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it's so cool to see that, like especially this diversity in this album. So, and it doesn't make the album feel like it's long too. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
So, it's a really nice, easy listen.
Yeah, it doesn't feel with so many genres kind of to jump around, especially in the solo section. It could feel very all over the place, but it doesn't. It flows pretty well into each song. And apparently, according to our discussion, like there's songs that will start an anime and end an anime. So there you go. If that's what you're looking for, there's something for you on this album.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
I wonder if Dreamcatcher has like collaborated with some anime openings, because I know Stray Kids did. So I wonder if any other K-pop
Stray Kids has. I know. ATEEZ has actually got to have a closing theme on Digimon late not too long ago.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple other K-pop groups that's got to have opening or closings of animes. I think Monsta X got to do one.
Okay. Yeah,
I know BTS has had even J-dramas use their music. Like, I'm surprised, like, Dreamcatcher hasn't had... I mean, considering, like, they've been more popular outside of Korea, like, they're finally getting more recognition in Korea. They're another one of those, like, groups that has more Western recognition than domestic recognition. They're starting to finally get it, because I will say this, they finally got their first music show win for Maison ever. So,
Maison, congrats to them.
That was quick. What, this album just came out, like,
last week.
Yeah,
last week.
So already a win.
Yeah,
They got a win under their belts.
Yeah, they'll start, getting wins, after like the first week. So yeah, and also this is like their first time to get, in their careers to have gotten a music show win, I believe.
Yeah,
so
this is their first one
very momentous
ever.
Yeah, very momentous occasion for them.
Is that just based on the song itself, or a performance?
It's based on the song, so it's like based on like it's also based on like streams, based on music video views. It's based on there's some voting involved. There's like breakdowns. Every music show has a different way of how you vote, and every music show is different now because it used to be very similar between music shows. Every show is different now because there's like a bunch of different music videos up for who's like the video of the like who's the song to be picked for right now for like wins and stuff. Like I think the big one right now is currently Big Bang, because obviously Big Bang.
Right. Yeah.
I think they just got their fourth win for Still Life actually. So, but it's not up for like every show. But like Dreamcatcher's not up for every show. Like it's varying between shows, and there's like a show almost every day of the week. So
yeah, and it's a tough competition when it comes if you're going to be competing with well-known groups or like well-known labels. So yeah, it's really tough for like other smaller labels to get that kind of like awards.
Which is why people are steering clear of June.
There you go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's
It's best to
wins.
get this out now. Get your accolades, and then you could lay quiet for a bit. Yeah.
Everyone's dropping.
Dropping on May or not June.
Yeah, but this album was a pleasant surprise. It's definitely making me, there's only a handful of groups that I'm I'm keeping up on. I want to know when an album drops. But this has quickly become one of mine. Yeah, I don't know what fans are called, but
Insomniac.
Oh, okay.
They're called Insomniacs, I believe. Ray, you're gonna kill me. I think the Insomniacs. I believe is what they're. I believe is what they're called. I have to catch right now because I think it's.
That was better than my guess. So. Dreamies.
I believe they're called Insomnia, which I also say. My friend somehow found their. One of my other friends found their light stick. They have one of the best light sticks currently, also in Korea, because they have like a whole staff.
Yeah,
the
staff.
They found their
it's like a whole staff.
Light stick, like it's a like.
Oh yeah, light stick culture. It's like like BTS have their like dynamite looking shaped light stick, and then like some other groups have like the kind of like Blackpink has like that hammer vodka like a light stick,
like to wave at concerts.
Yeah. To wave at concerts.
Okay.
Yes, it's a very popular thing, a trend with K-pop. So you gotta have like some kind of unique features into some groups, and for Dreamcatcher, like they have a whole Gandalf the Grey staff with them.
I mean,
It's.
Are you allowed to?
Like, you shall not pass.
Are you allowed to bring that whole staff to concerts and wave it in the air?
That I'm not 100% sure. I know, like you can screw it down so it's just like the stick itself, but like I think the whole thing does assemble to a huge staff.
Okay,
I have
so it's
seen
like
it
a
in the wild,
toy lightsaber or something like that. That's what I'm imagining. I mean, that probably looks so much cooler than a bunch of people holding up their cell phones.
Lighters
or even the
cell
lightest cell phones, even worse. It's just like
I was correct. It is Insomnia. Insomnias are their fandom name. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because this was a group I only recently discovered. I think maybe I had heard of them, and then I think. One of you shared Red Sun maybe during the October or something, and then
because
I caught up on them.
You were getting the Pixie, and I was like, oh, have you checked out Dreamcatcher?
That's what it was. Yeah,
that's why.
And for some because we know your music preference, like we were shocked to hear that you haven't heard Dreamcatcher. Like what?
Right. We had to quickly rectify that. So
usually I just come across them at random. That was what happened with Pixie. It was just like, oh, let me check this. This is cool. Still with the YouTube video. Let me check this out, and it became one of my favorite songs of that year.
Yeah, if you like Pixie, you should really check out Dreamcatcher. It's like one of those algorithm kind of things. So, but I'm happy we've turned you on to Dreamcatcher because I love their unique sound. Like I loved them now for a few years. When I first stumbled upon them, deep diving into K-pop, they were like one of the first girl groups I found, and I'm like, oh, they have a unique sound. Oh, I'm digging this. Yes.
Oh yeah,
All
there's
the
at
yes.
least
So,
one or two songs of those on my like workout playlist, and probably be adding a couple of these on there now from this album. So it's
nice. So
nice.
yeah, it's a high praise again from Dreamcatcher. Like this was a fantastic album. I know I was
Hmm.
excited when I saw the preview sampler come out before I think I went to Vegas, and then I was just like super hyped for this to come out.
Hmm.
So this just made me so happy. So
And believe me,
uh,
I'm very picky. I'm very picky with
Yeah.
he
especially with this
is.
type of genre. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's very high praise from me.
So if you're getting high praise from Chris, that's really, really high praise. So yeah. But let's get on because we're halfway through. But the rest of this is pretty short stuff because we have 2 singles and a mini album. So the rest of this should fly by here pretty quickly. Let's get into the rest of our reviews. Our next one's a single release from one of our favorite female hip hop artists in Korea, Jessi.
Cedric's favorite.
See, you needed to have Cedric on here, yeah, for this.
I know. I need to get Cedric on the show because he loves her. Loves, of course, he loves this one. He go to Thirsty Thursday, and I'm like, continue on.
It's like, oh, another GIF. Okay, another gift. There we go.
But this is her newest one called Zoom, which I just again another banger. I will say she just has like this unique style. I think with her hip hop that like you can tell it's a Jessi track when you listen to it. It's very uniquely her. I think it's just her American sensibilities since she's from the States. Mm-hmm. So she has obviously that very American hip hop influence to it. I mean, I do like I kind of like the message because it's kind of like this like kind of tongue in cheek kind of sound, like song about like selfie culture, a little bit,
Yeah.
And like especially with her because she has had plastic surgery, so coming from her, it's very tongue in cheek
and very proud of like her appearance or her looks.
Yeah, and basically kind of like sounding like I think it's a good message because it's like again like no, don't let the cameras like really like tell you who you are like when it's a selfies because it's just like be you kind of thing, but it's in very much her own way of her telling you that. So it's a very tongue in cheek kind of way of
very
feisty.
It. Yeah, very feisty in a way. Like all of her like her hip hop like sides are very feisty, but I do like. Also want to add like appreciate her more solemn like songs like Numb. I really appreciate like her like doing something really different and being like more personal about through her songs.
Oh yeah, from her solo album when she dropped that. Oh god, was that late 2020? I think when she dropped her solo album.
It was like after Nana, like that one.
Yeah,
also came out.
So it's been a while since she dropped a full album. She's just been dropping singles as of late, doing collabs because she did the collabs with like Street Woman Fighter and all that stuff. That was Cold Blooded was great. I'm so mad she wasn't on Mama. Dang it! Oh my god, I'm so mad. That would have been my highlight. I'm like, yep, I'm there. Okay, cool. But yeah, I just like because again, and then I love it's because like she's doing like a TikTok challenge with this too now. Like I don't know if you saw, I should send it to you. I saw this the other day. She's doing a TikTok challenge.
I was kind of like a bit like low key, like just doing a bit of the dance moves and then all that in my room. Like I see you looking at happy eyes.
Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out.
Did you see your clip with Subin or like the 2 members from TXT?
That's the clip I was gonna send you.
Yeah, I already saw that.
Where basically she's like, these young kids are about to upstage me. these 20-something youngins. Flashing back to her. I'm flashing back to her variety show when she like basically kind of like freaked out when she found out that they're all like like 20, 21, and she's like slowly backs away. Like she just kind of like, yep, nope, I'm too old for this. Nope, can't do
really
this.
Cool. Yeah, she's really cool with like like other interviewers because like a lot of media, especially when it comes to like interviews, like they're very like pulled back and like almost like conservative in a way, right? But with her, she's like she holds no bounds.
She has like her filter, like she has to have some kind of filter, but it's almost like she has no filter in a way. Especially when she's like talking to like her like friends in the media. Like I know, especially when like some of her like her early episodes of her show, she's got a variety show on YouTube called Show Review with Jessi. It's so funny because she's gone and talked to like celebrity like actors and groups and other entertainers in K media, and she's got a lot of friends in K variety and stuff too. And it's just so funny because like she's so like just so loud and she's so like she's like so like in her way, like like people are just sometimes just like, oh my god, because like she's very very American and that kind of sensibility versus like a lot of Koreans. So like there's a lot of sometimes headbutting, but it's sometimes but she understands that, I think, because of her being in Korea now for almost 16 years, I think.
Yeah.
So she understands that, but it's kind of funny because she sometimes forgets that.
If you haven't seen it, her video, her interview with ITZY, we we'll totally put the video in our group chat. It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, that one's
like,
good.
They're so cool with her because like they're I think they were able to like be themselves instead of like having like put up a front and like, oh yes, we're putting up an album, trying to be like act polite and all that, but with Jesse's like, fuck it, you just like
I think I saw the bit where like she was cussing about something that like you saw the ITZY's reactions to it. She was like, this motherfucking bastard or something. I don't know. I forget exactly what she said. But.
Probably talking about their boss JYP. Like, oh, this and I collab with this dude.
Maybe that's what it was. It's got out of context because I think it was just like a 10-second clip. But
you got to watch it in context because it's so fun. It's so funny. Because I remember like I said, her one with Toronto together with they're doing charades and she has to do watermelon and she gestures at her boobs and then Subin just kind of looks at her and she's like, I'm not doing that. He's just like, no, go on, do that. And he's like,
same with 80s too. Okay. Remember like when Mingy was like kind of referred to like, should we like press on your chest, and then like the other members started hitting him.
yeah. Oh no. And then also with Yeosang's tongue, it's like, oh, what else can you do? Because Yeosang can flip his tongue 180 degrees. He can flip it upside down. And then she was like, oh, it's like, so do you have a girlfriend? And it's like, oh, what else can you do with that tongue? Implying everyone's just flipping out with the rest of 80s. It was I still die to that moment because like Yeosang's also like one of the more stoic members most of the time. Although
like, the quiet members is just like not.
And then he just lost. They all lost it at that point. It was hilarious. So it was so funny. I don't know what she would have done if Jongho was on the show because Jongho had to go home for a funeral, unfortunately, at that point, so he wasn't there. But I don't know what she would have done with his power maknae on top level of energy.
I can't. I also can't wait for her. Like her. Oh yeah, they already showed clips of it because she also visited like. There's like the show that I watch called The Return of Superman. It's where like celebrity parents, like you have them like taking care of their children. It's so cute. Like some of the babies, and like there's this one like the new episode has her like visiting like this single mom and her baby, and it's like so adorable because she acts like so motherly and like she's really sweet like towards this baby, and the baby was just like smiling at her.
Oh, how cute!
Yeah, I showed it to Cedric because I know he likes Jessi, but I'll show it to you guys too.
You have to send it to me.
Yeah, I need to go. But there's no subtitles, but you can kind of see.
I could probably find the episode with subtitles somewhere. I know I can get it on one of my apps that I have for all my K stuff. So, but I also need to
the baby was just like smiling around Jessi because I think he has like a thing with like older women because I know he's raised under like a single mother. So like to have him like with Jessi and it's like
but yeah,
Jessi's shy around her.
Jessi's just one of those like fantastic entertainers out there. Like she's a great entertainer, great rapper. She just really, it's just so much fun just like to see stuff with her in it. And like I said, I do love like any of her hip hop and stuff. So I'm hoping she drops an album soon. I don't know what she's still directing obviously stuff over at P Nation. Obviously with everybody over at P Nation. Obviously, I know everyone's focusing probably over P Nation, the big Psy album drop that's coming, but we'll see what happens because she's under the label now that Psy owns literally So that's where she signed under. So, and they're from everybody who's over at that label, because it's like Hana and Dawn, and then their new boy group that's supposed to be debuting sometime this year too.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but yeah, I'm hoping we get a full album from her again soon, because like I want to see definitely some more introspective stuff. But I do like this one. I do love this song a lot. It's really fun. So, but let's get to our next album review. It was another mini album, another 4th gen group. And I've actually just discovered this group not that long ago, and I'm actually really deep dived into this group, which is sad. Because I'm like, I can't do this to more groups, but here I am. And that's the group Just Be. And this is their 3rd album, titled Just Begun, and this came back out on the 14th with their title track Reload. And what originally drew me to this group was like they had this like almost like very like their other title tracks like had these more like kind of like almost like some like new metal sounds to it too.
I think so, because I listened to this like side by side with Epex, so I kind of have like a very similar similar tone when it comes to like an aggressive like type of like K-pop boy group. But with them, if you want to differentiate like Epex's album with this, it feels like more in tune with more of like a rock pop sound.
Yeah. Like if you listen to their previous title tracks, which is Damage and TikTok, like Damage is like really heavily into like that more like rock and new metal, and that's their title track of their like debut, and really drew me into them. So I was just like immediately drawn into it, and I was just like, okay, this is what I'm here for. I'm all ready for this. And then TikTok was a little different, but I did like the production on that and just how interesting that was. So so we get to Reload, and I mean, it's more on the industrial side of things. Like it kind of went more on that industrial side of noise, which I was not expecting, but I guess it kind of fits with their sound since they're kind of more that rock sound into the noise genre. Kind of like Stray Kids was a bit for a time.
We're talking about Reload, right?
Yeah, Reload. Yeah, their current title track, Reload. So I find it makes them sound different. That kind of makes them stand out differently from the other 4th gen noise groups. Because we were talking about this on our last episode, like with Gravity, kind of falling, kind of blending in with these other groups and just kind of being like, oh, we don't know where they fall.
And they're more like a Monster X Light. Monster X Light.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Just Be's kind of already like distinguishing themselves separate from other groups in the 4th gen, which is good because again, there's a lot of noise groups in the 4th generation, and you have to distinguish yourselves in order to stand out, I think, to be a different group. And I think they're doing that with, again, this more rock sound. And I like it. I like the more industrial sound to it. And yeah, and I wonder if it's something too with the vocals on this too, because their vocals are very strong. I wonder if that just has to do with the fact that when their main vocalist is Lim Jimin, who's been on like Produce 101 and has done solo work before he became a member of Just Be. So he's already been an established like strong vocalist before the hand. So that might have something to do with it as well. And so, yeah, I like I said, I've fallen really hard, really fast with this group, which is scary. But here we are.
Yeah, I think with this, it's just like I think I really love the balance between like a bit of a hip hop sound and more of a power hip hop, and mixed in with a lot of rock elements into it. So it's a really good because we gotta have like something like to differentiate like themselves with the K-pop industry, because there's so many groups coming out recently. So you really love that they found their own voice with this. So I really hope they continue with that sound.
Yeah, it's fascinating that kind of for a while it had been like an 80s vibe with a lot of music, not just in this genre, but across the board. And now we're starting to see a bit more of that 90s, early 2000s influence start to creep into modern music now, where, at least from what I'm hearing, industrial, new metal, noise rock, stuff like that. We're starting to see that creep in and see a more modern take on it.
Which I feel like has been kind of where K-pop has been going, like outside of like most groups, but like because we kind of been seeing that in K-pop, just the kind of dial turning, because we had a lot of obviously disco sounds back in like 2000 or 2020, excuse me, and then in 2021, and then it's just everything's kind of, the trend is now swinging definitely into this like more like the 90s aughts rock stuff. I mean, we've talked a lot on the show about like Tomorrow by Together, they're very like grungy emo boy sound.
The Hive label in general has been like just approaching more of like a rock sound recently for some reason.
Yeah. So there's definitely been that throughout K-pop, and I think Hive being one of the big labels, obviously people are going to look towards that and they're definitely going to go towards that. But like I said, they've kind of been doing that throughout their whole career, the short-lived careers, because they've barely been around, like, I think it's almost not even 6 months or just about 6 months. So like these guys are very much new on the scene yet, but they are, I think, establishing themselves, and I think they're a little underappreciated, undervalued yet. And I'm hoping that they break through, because I mean, there's a lot of groups coming out. Obviously, we've seen groups debut and stuff, so
it's tough.
And I'm hoping they can just kind of stand out, because I feel like they're being a little undervalued on the K-pop market. So, especially because like I'm not gonna lie, this is another universe I'm gonna fall into that has a storyline.
You love stories, don't you, Jenny?
I do. I do.
Love a good story.
I'm a lore whore. Because this one has very, very much like evil organization. There's like red and blue pill like talk like and stuff like that. Like it's continuing in this music video. There's some lore going on in this.
The Matrix, which was also the early 2000s or late 90s.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, exactly. So there's a little bit anarchist kind of vibes into the universe a little bit too. So especially with this music video.
That's why I keep like comparing them with Epex, because it's like that, like listening to their and like watching their videos, it's just like really similar towards each other. Mm-hmm. But just like they're just their sounds that really like has distinguished from each other. So it's really, really interesting to have just to do a back to back on them.
Yeah, because they literally came out the same week, literally within 2 days of one another, 3 days of one another. Excuse me.
Yeah.
They like literally like within the same week out with new music, and very music videos in the very similar vein of like Anarchy, I guess, in a way. But still have different sounds.
Yeah, so I think if I want to go because I only have one favorite B side from them, which is Make It New, and all I can think of is NCT 127 Kick It. It's just from like the guitar alone, like how it does the ripping, and just the group chant chorus thing, and also like let me introduce you to some new things, and the verses gonna make it new or something like that. It would just be.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like Make It New too, because I liked it was more heavy, like industrial bassy, and it just had more hip hop influence to it too, because it's very more hip hop heavy.
Yeah, even just like the bridge too, when they go over more like a bit of an R&B tone into it, is like so reminiscent of even Kick It, because they have like their bridges, whenever they go to their bridge, it's like they like slow down for an R&B section.
Yeah.
So it's very like, oh, okay.
Yeah, now that you say that, now I'm like thinking back to it, I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. It definitely sounds like Kick It from NCT 127, which is a great title track. But yeah, like, wow, that very much is. But I don't know, I like it because it still very much sounds like a Just Be song. Like I said, in their very limited careers, and their sound and their style still sounded like them. So, and then I just like it because it has those like heavy industrial like bass sounds throughout this album. So I do appreciate, again, has that through thread throughout, and I've noticed they've had that throughout all their albums. Also, the naming, the naming titles of their albums too has just been very clever, because it fits with their name, because it's always Just B, and then their titles are Just, and then the next word starts with B. So,
they should really like, come up with really clever titles. Just begun, just beat it. I don't know.
Just beat, just burn, and just begun.
Just because. That could be one. Why'd you make this album? Just because.
Just because.
That'll be their lackluster one. It's like,
that's the garbage album. You just throw songs on because we don't know what we're doing.
Just BS. That's
just BS.
BS. Just bullshit. But yeah, I like I said, I'm really kind of loving this group a lot. Like I'm really kind of falling in deep into them. They have a lot of talent here, so I think they could get more looks. Like I said, they're like kind of like Kingdom, where they're from a very small label, and because of that, they're not getting a lot of looks.
Yeah, that's like my main concern. Is like if they don't make it that big, they're probably like in disband. So I just really hope they have like a long career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping that too, because I mean they have members who are just like they're on the show under 18. They also have members who are on the show Island too. So they've had members who have competed in other shows and stuff, and so like that's where they've gotten some recognition that way, and that's how they came together. So also their fan name is called Only B. So
Only B.
Only B.
Just only. What else? Like those are kind of like.
So, but yeah, they are. I'm looking forward to seeing more from them. So. But let's wrap up the episode, I guess, and we'll just do a little mini with this one because this is only another single.
Oh right. Jeez, I forgot about this. Sorry.
You forgot about 17. That's okay. We'll do a quick one with 17 and we'll wrap it up because we've been talking long enough as it is. And yeah, like I said, this is 17's kind of pre-release single for their upcoming album coming out in the late May. And that's Darl+ing. And like I said, to note about this is it's their first full English single. So they're kind of following the BTS train here. Hive's making them follow the BTS train. It's their first full English. Yeah, more English. But I will say this, I do appreciate the fact that they don't think they sacrificed 17 sound to go English like BTS. I feel like kind of sacrificed a little when they did Dynamite. And then they went back to it with Butter, and then they kind of threw that out of the way for Permission to Dance.
Oh God.
A little bit. I'm sorry. I had to listen to Permission to Dance so much when I was in Vegas. You kind of get Stockholm syndromed with that.
Is that the one that you guys did? I haven't heard that song, but is that the one you guys were pushing out? Like, let's forget that one exists.
Although BTS won't, because they named their whole tour after it.
That's what I was wondering. It's like, yeah, I mean, they must. I mean, I guess it's a good name for a tour, but I mean, I haven't heard the song, so I have.
There's a good message to it. It's just very
generic,
poppy.
It's just like it really lost the identity of BTS, and I blame everything on Ed Sheeran for that.
Okay.
Yeah. When in doubt, blame Ed Sheeran.
Was he on the track?
He
produced it.
He produced it.
Yeah, it was basically a song that Ed Sheeran had and threw out, and somehow BTS picked it up. So, I don't know. Okay. I don't know how or why.
I cried tears of joy when Coldplay redeemed it.
Oh, with My Universe.
Oh my God, thank you, Coldplay.
Thank you, Chris Martin. Also, I do appreciate the Chris Martin and Jin's friendship. It's so hard right now. Anyway,
that's good.
But at least I appreciate, like I said, with 17, because like this, and now they're delving into the English stuff because they're again one of the bigger third generation groups for the boy groups, and they have a Western audience. Like I know there are plenty of Carrots out there, Carrots being their fandom, and like they have plenty of fans. It's like they really don't need an English single because like they have fans. They constantly sell millions of albums. But I guess they wanted to delve into an English song. But like I said, hype. I blame Scooter. No. But it still sounds like a 17 song in my head. Like it still feels like it's still like in that 17, like more on the melodic side of 17 songs. So like I know because for Eugene, you thought it was kind of more forgettable.
Well, not really forgettable. It's just like it's not my thing. I might like my personal music taste. I think that's my fault for that.
Well, I know you're more of a fan of like a Home Run, like the more jazzier stuff of 17.
I'm more of an energetic type of like music listener, man.
Yeah, because this is definitely
so
more.
Hard. Yeah,
this is definitely
so
more
for me.
It's more somber, melodic, I'm trying to think more heartbreaking because there's definitely there's a lot of symbolism in the music video, which I have to still deep dive into a little bit because there's a whole storyline in the music video. So I've only watched the music video once and I haven't had a chance to really pay attention to it. There's a lot going on in that. So I don't know if that's teasers up to this upcoming album or not. Could be, who knows? Oh, it wouldn't surprise me actually. But yeah, it's more tranquil. It's a more tranquil song of theirs. It's probably more along the lines of something like Ready. I'm even Ready to Love is a little bit more upbeat than this. If I go and think about it. Because I'm trying to think of what a 17 song that's a little bit more chill. Than like this one, but because it does still fit, I think, in their discography, but it is more of a chill song of theirs. So
yeah, I still need to think about it.
Yeah, but like I said, I think just based on there's the stylization of it, the vocalization of the members, it does fit, in their style and their substance. So, but it's nothing super upbeat. Like I said, I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more upbeat for 17 because I do like the more upbeat songs, like their Home Runs, Left and Right, Hit, Aju Nice, like a lot of their more upbeat stuff I really do like. This is definitely a bit more on their somber side of things. So it is getting a lot of attention here though in the States. At least I know I saw a good play, MTV did Fresh Out and stuff with it, but
nice.
We'll see what
MTV still exists. Is that
I know.
Yes, MTV still exists. I know. I was actually
it tries to exist.
It tries to exist on the internets.
Maybe it's VH1
doing music stuff
that's
weirdly.
dead.
That's kind of tragic.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how those music channels survive anymore in this country.
It's all just a reality shows, I think.
Pretty much.
That sucks, man.
The only thing I watch on VH1 is RuPaul's Drag Race.
Is VH1 still a thing? Okay, this is
apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like I said, I was just I guess occasionally I see K-pop stuff on MTV occasionally, but they're still very, very not into it. There's been catching up to do with MTV getting on the whole K-pop stuff because I know with them with the VMAs best K-pop video with their VMAs, it's still you're all missing a bunch of really good shit half the time.
Yeah, it only gets BTS or Blackpink that they always catch attention to,
or Monster X because somehow Monster X gets a lot of American playtime for some reason. But it's a lot of hype or YG stuff usually. I don't know. Maybe this year we'll finally get Stray Kids nominated.
I mean, I guess that's the case with, any type of those awards. Grammys, this year with Silk Sonic winning a bunch of stuff. It was it was cool. But there was so much stuff out there, or still much stuff that was nominated that I'm like, what? No, absolutely not.
They just pick the ones that are popular. That's pretty much it.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's always been the case. Yeah. Occasionally, there's a year where you're like, yeah, absolutely, that one wins. That one wins.
Yeah, they're a surprise.
But,
you're like, oh, you actually picked the right thing. Thank you. But that's very rare and in between. So
I know
it's very, very odd. This year it was a jazz album that won or something like that. So
yeah, it was
John Baptiste.
John Baptiste.
Yeah.
Who V from BTS was hanging out with in Vegas.
Oh yeah, yeah. V's such an old soul. He listened to a bunch of old jazz music from the 30s and 40s. Damn, he even was dancing in an old an old jazz hall. Just damn, he was
with
living
a bunch
it up,
of
man.
Basically people in their 60s and 70s. I think probably brought the average age of that place down by 30. Just by stepping in there.
He just pulled his Bully Maguire moves in that place. I'll dig on this.
Which my friends apparently went to go visit that same place that he went to, and they're like, yeah, it's very much like there's a lot of it's very much like for like the senior citizens because it's way off. I don't know how he found it because it's way off the strip and stuff too. So I don't know how V found it, but he did. But it's very much his vibe. So
So what do you want to do in Vegas? Oh, we're go see a senior citizen center jazz club. Okay, sure, why not? Yeah, that's what I want to go to in Vegas. Yep.
That's what he wanted to do.
But hey, it's an experience. Also, quick question. I forget which group this was for. Did you say their fans were called carrots?
Yes. Yeah, they're
Do you mean like gold? Like
like diamonds.
Yeah, or diamond
like diamonds.
carrots.
Yeah, because they're light stick shaped like a diamond actually, and their symbology is diamond based actually. So.
All right, shine bright like a diamond. All right. At least it wasn't. At least it wasn't the vegetable. I don't know if that was part of the storyline.
Well, actually, no.
Maybe their storyline started with them off as farmers. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I was going to say there's a light stick shaped like a carrot, but I'm like, that's not a carrot. That's a radish, and that's Mamamoo.
Yeah.
I'm about to mix that up, and Ray was going to come after me for that one. Sorry, Ray. But yeah, no, like I said, I think it's not Marjorie's cup of tea. It's a little bit more on the melodic side of things for 17 for Darl+ing, but yeah, I thought it was okay.
There's no fault in that, and it's like I'm just like no, not my thing, but it's like I know a lot of people would enjoy it and find like the merits of it.
And I think a lot of carrot, like a lot of carrots did. So a lot of 17's fans did. So, like I said, it's their attempt to break into America, even though like I know they have a lot of Western fans already, because I know when they announced their tour, that's probably gonna be another bloodbath for tickets, unless they do what BTS did and they actually let their fandom actually get for tickets first. I'm hoping Hybe kind of leads the way on that, because whatever happened yesterday with Stray Kids was just no. I don't want to do that again. No.
Never again.
Oh God, I'm gonna have PTSD from that forever now. Oh, it's true. It's triggering.
PTD?
Oh,
you mean PTD?
Boo! Boo to you, Ginny. Boo! Boo to you on that. Boo on that joke. Okay. Well, with that actually,
you're gonna be proud. I just know it.
Anyway, with that ends our reviews for the week, and that actually brings us to the end of this week's episode of Noonas podcast. This is a long one. This is going to be a treat for me to edit. But I'm looking forward to editing this. Like I said, we got a lot coming up, Ginny. Oh my God. Besides me commiserating over not getting Stray Kids tickets currently, like I said, May is already shaping up to be an insane month for us for comebacks because everyone's trying to get their stuff out before BTS comes back in June. Because we were just talking about comebacks, just from the end of April into May, because we have, I think, coming out, we have very, very finally dropping their album.
Okay, it's from
because the other day they've been just dropping singles. I think they're finally dropping their album at the end of the month. Monsta X is coming back with an album. Might have to talk about Holland because we haven't talked about Holland on the show, and we might have. He hasn't had new stuff in a while. Holland is the first openly gay K-pop or I guess I would say K-idol.
It's like an indie type of Korean idol.
Yeah, more of an indie artist. He's more of an indie artist because he's had, but because he's so indie, he had to create his own label and stuff. Because again, he's openly gay and
no one's
gay men are not really treated well in Korea. But he's got a lot of love in the Western culture. So
very cool.
We'll have to talk about Holland. And we have I don't know if you've seen Moonbull's comeback stuff for Cheese in the Trap.
Oh, I only see pictures, but I don't know if I've seen any teasers of it.
She just drops a very strange video for Cheese in the Trap. I'll have to send it to you. It's bizarre. It's funny but bizarre.
Okay,
but that's coming. As well as we've been talking about Psy, and this is just the end of April for us. So. With who's coming back with I think his 9th or 10th something. I don't know. It's been a while since Psy's. It's been a while
I know.
since Size dropped in music, and so
Yeah.
he's coming back with something new. So we get to review that. And then coming up into May already is just like insane. So we get to look forward to that. That'll be fun.
I'm hoping it's
but-
another critique on culture, because I know that's what Gangnam Style was kind of supposed to be. Kind of critique on kind of the the wealthy culture in Korea. So it's like
he's always had
something there.
Good songs regarding that, like just like critiques on like culture and like life in general in Korea. And so like if he has a song like that, I'm looking forward to that. So I'm very interested to see what he's going to do, because I love his kind of writing, style of writing.
I saw his teaser for Celeb, and he has like notable like guest artists. I know Huas is going to be in one of the tracks, but I don't know who was the person in the. I couldn't tell who the person is in their teaser for Celeb.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to check that out. So, and then I know early May already's looking. I know we have the debut of the new girl group from Hybe, technically from Source. Les Seraphim, which we've talked about a little bit on the show, as well as finally an actual comeback from iKON. We finally have all of the groups from Kingdom have finally had an album comeback, although it took a year for iKON.
Yeah, but it's YG, man. Like, what do you expect? Like, they have like poor management, skills when it comes to like their idols waiting for like getting a project done.
And I feel like every group from Kingdom has had at least 2 comebacks since then too.
I know.
I think every group, BTOB's had 2 comebacks. The boys have had 2 comebacks / some other like mini like one-off things. Stray Kids had 2 comebacks. ATEEZ had 2 comebacks. Yeah, no, everyone's had 2 comebacks. iKON's about to have their first. So yeah, SF9 had 2 comebacks, and then now they're getting into the military. So yeah, yeah, oof. God, YG, why are you like this? But yeah.
When Blackpink coming back? Because apparently they're coming back this year, but we don't know when.
Eventually? I don't know.
Eventually. We'll be back.
They'll be back. Watch them try to come back in June and compete with BTS.
Holy shit. Yeah, I heard like someone like saying that on the tweet, like who the heck would, whose idea was it to like have them like be pitting with BTS on June, but it's gonna be. They're both really popular. Like they're both like the top groups. When it comes to K-pop, so it's gonna be interesting. Like which is gonna come out on top.
Yeah, I'm about to say if anything, it would be if we have a fight between BTS and Blackpink. I mean, although do we really want to have a fight between Blinks and ARMYs on Twitter? I don't know if we want that.
I don't know. Like it's already like the main rivalry on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know if we all want that.
I think the message is stay off Twitter. I think that's the message.
That's our message every week.
I don't even have it. Just like, no.
I stay away from the fan wars. I stay with the multistans. It's nice with the multistans because we don't care.
We like whatever we like.
Yeah, it's really weird that it's like one group against the other. It's like okay.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to make them seem like they're the most successful or like they're better than you. It's like this stuff with the superiority complex. It's just
It's like it would be like I don't know, Dua Lipa fans going against Bruno Mars fans. It's like what? Okay,
yeah, it's dumb.
Like they're both popular. They're both good. Like okay.
Yeah,
it's like meanwhile you have all the multi-stand stand over here like. We love all.
There you go. Peace and love.
Yeah, they're just gatekeeping like their idols have to do like this. Oh, you can't do this, or you can't. It's like leave them be. It's like they're human beings.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
Go outside and see the sky.
Yeah, go touch grass.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah,
as we say on Twitter.
Yeah.
Go touch the grass. Like y'all need to go touch some grass or something. I'm like, wow. Yeah. But,
it's like, I'm sorry, those idols are not going to notice you.
Yeah, they don't. They're not going to care what you guys say on, online.
No,
pretty much. So, but I guess before we go rambling on much further, Chris, did you want to plug anything while you're here?
I don't really have too much to plug. I haven't been on Instagram in a long, long time. But if anyone wants to hit me up, I am on Facebook. You can look for Chris Brad. I have mutual friends with these two.
And then go ahead, Ginny.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Ginny Leano. So that's GINNYLEANO. You can check out some of my design stuff at Ginny Leano Designs, all lowercase. Instagram, Instagram at Ginny Designs, and then you can find my personal stuff from the links down below. And back to you, Jenny.
And you can find me, Jenny. You can find me over on Facebook, facebook.com/Jenny Matasek. That's Jenny with an I, Matasek. You can find me over on Instagram and on Twitter at Chaos Bulldog. You can also find the show pages for the Noonas podcast over on Twitter and on Instagram at Noonas_podcast. Don't forget that underscore. You can listen to the Noonas podcast over on SoundCloud, if the audio only version of the sound of the show. Wow, I could talk. It's been a long night. You can listen to the audio version of the show over on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Noonas podcast, all one word. And you can check out the video form of our show if you just check out our Facebook and our YouTube pages. Just search for the Noonas podcast. We do link it on our Twitter and our Instagram as well. Make sure to like, click, comment, subscribe as well. We'd love to have interaction with you guys. And as always, do love to plug our main video producer, Alan. Helps me get our videos put together every week. Really cool dude. Go check out his Twitch, twitch.tv/birdmanle, BirdManali. He does some really great video game playthroughs and is just a cool guy overall. So go check him out as well. But yeah, this has been an episode of the Noonas podcast. We got through this episode. This is surprisingly not a 3-hour episode, but getting close to it. Maybe 2.5. I don't know.
Just imagine if we have Ray along too. Like, oh my God, it's gonna be like a.
I know.
Like a Batman movie.
Cedric was like, 9-hour show. I'm like, no. I don't want to do a 9-hour show. That'd be insane to edit. So, but I don't know if we ever live streamed or something. I don't know. I can't think of us live streaming something.
Oh yeah, I know. Like they're gonna mess up because I know like there's gonna be people watching us. It's like I'm gonna get so flustered.
Who wants to watch the two of us talk about something? I don't know. Maybe something. I don't know. But who knows one day. But Chris, I wanted to say thank you for coming back on the show. It's always lovely having you on the show.
Oh, no problem. It was a great time. Even though we've got almost over 3 hours with the pre-recording, it flew by. So yeah, thanks for having me once again. It was great. It was a great discussion. It was great to hear your thoughts on the album too.
Yeah, no, I love hearing your thoughts and your opinions because you have obviously a different perspective on things than me and Ginny. So I love hearing what you have to say each and every time that you're on the show. So hope to have you back on the show too. Like I said, I was hoping to have Ray on the show, but Ray wasn't able to be here today. So I'm hoping to have Ray back on the show probably when BTS drops their stuff and probably when ATEEZ drops their stuff because I know she was flipping out the same as me when ATEEZ dropped their super secret promotional stuff today on the internet. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, go check out my Facebook because I'm about to post something on Facebook about that because mind blown. I guess with that,
we know what your next Thirsty Thursday is going to be. We just know that.
Oh God! Well,
I have Twitter footage to go through. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, just leave me out of it though. When it comes to like ATEEZ.
You don't want to know the things I've seen already today of One Choice on in Madrid. You do not want to know. Anyway, with the man's blonde. But with that, I guess we'll sign off with another resounding fighting.